got in store for us tonight, because once again, we find ourselves with pretty much no preview for tonight. I've got no idea what we're actually going to be watching. So, yes, confusion tonight, because all that's been announced is what is next for Roman, and Apollo defends the Intercontinental title. That is it. That is all that is on the official preview. So there's not much for us to talk about in regards to what's going to be on the show tonight. We don't know. Obviously, we need to find out who's going to face Roman at WrestleMania Backlash. My gut feeling is that it's going to be like a Daniel Bryan or an Edge. I don't think it'll be Big E. It might be, because his program with Apollo could be over now that Apollo is the champion, and it says that he's going to be defending the title tonight. It might be that this is the start of Apollo moving on to other things. Could be the start of a new feud for Apollo. It could turn out to just be Big E, in all fairness. But, yeah, I am expecting it to be a case that Daniel Bryan or Edge is going to challenge Roman. I can't say I've seen any rumors on that, though. And obviously, we don't know what's happening with Bianca either. Like Bianca, we saw her celebrate last week, but there wasn't really much of an indication as to who her next challenger is going to be. Could be a rematch with Sasha, or Sasha might be out of the title picture now. So a lot for us to find out about tonight. We need to take some steps forward. I don't think that last week's show was all that great, considering it was the SmackDown straight after WrestleMania. So that's in the rear view mirror now. We're working our way forward, and we'll see what the show has got in store for us. Not tons of news this week either, but obviously we've got the fallout of Mickey James Bag Gate, or whatever it's being called. So we can talk about that. Chris Jericho tweeting about that recently, today actually. So we've got that, and there was a conference call with Vince, who was talking through the business. Obviously, there was some people let go behind the scenes as well, so we can talk about that. And I saw the trailer. I don't know if you've seen this, but the trailer for Vlad, the Superfan, really good. If you've not seen it, it's really good. Vladimir was someone that was always at the shows. He went to all the WrestleManias, and you would always spot him. He was kind of like the green shirt guy of the 1980s, early 1990s. And yeah, he was just like really well known. And they've done a documentary on him. So Vlad, documentary all about the WWE Superfan. The trailer looks awesome. It looks really good. I think I saw it on their YouTube channel, so check that out if you haven't seen that yet. I do like these documentaries they're doing that are just a little bit different. They're not just about the wrestlers. They did one called Heaven not long ago that was all about a girl who competed at high school in wrestling and beat a load of the boys, became like state champion against like all the boys. I really like that. I thought it was still wrestling related, but it was something a little different. And this is the same. It's still wrestling related, but it's about a super fan. And you get to see like his merch around his house, and find out a bit more about him, and hear stories that he's got from going to all the shows. And you know, I mean, like there's a great clip of him with Roddy Piper from the 1980s. Roddy Piper calls him up onto the edge of the ring and does like a bit of an interview with him. It's really, I can't wait for that documentary. I'm so excited. So, and obviously there was the Treasures show that started as well. We can talk about it all. We'll, as always, we won't be stuck for things to talk about, even if there isn't much of a preview for SmackDown this week. Future Compilation says that honestly sounds amazing. Yeah, I mean, check it out. It's so interesting because you're gonna maybe hear wrestling from a perspective that you don't normally hear from, which is the fans' perspective. You always hear from the wrestler's perspective of what it was like getting ready for the match and behind the scenes for the match, but you never hear it from our side. So to have it like stories from a fan that was there at key moments, at key shows, it should be really good. So I'm really looking forward to that. Just something a little bit different. I just saw someone ask the question, when are you starting the UFC show? Which is a good question. Let me see if I can pop the chat back out. Hang on. Boom. We can do this. We can do this. We've done this. What time are you starting UFC, asks Corey. I honestly don't know, Corey. Let me find out for you, because I don't know what time UFC starts tomorrow. But I'm super excited for it. It starts at 11 UK time, so that will be 6 Eastern. That's the early prelims. So 3 early prelims tomorrow. And then we got the prelims that start at 1, which is 8 Eastern. So that starts at 6. I reckon there's a good chance that we'll start half an hour before that. So 5:30 Eastern, which will be hang on, is that right? 5:30? Oh, this is hard. This is hard for me to try and work out time differences. So 5:30 would be 10:30. That's right. Yes, 5:30 Eastern, 10:30 UK time. We will be starting for UFC 261. I've been watching loads about that today. That's been what I've been doing today, actually. Loads of UFC stuff, watching all about Thug Rose. Love Thug Rose. So been watching about her getting ready for her title fight against Zhang Weili. Obviously, we've got big main event of Usman versus Masvidal 2. We've got Shevchenko taking on Andrade. It's stacked, actually. There's like Uriah Hall against Chris Weidman. It's going to be really good. So tomorrow is a massive day. If you are interested in UFC, or only even just slightly interested in UFC, join us tomorrow for what is going to be one of the biggest streams of the year, because they only tend to do one big show a month. There's only 12 big UFC pay-per-views a year, and this is one of the big pay-per-views as well. Might not have like a Conor McGregor, but it does have Masvidal, who was on the front cover of UFC 4. He is a wildly popular UFC star. So, yeah, Masvidal in action, taking on Usman. Thug Rose, one of my legit favorite fighters in the co-main event. And honestly, Valentina Shevchenko, one of the best in the world. Valentina Shevchenko might be the second best female fighter of all time, just behind Amanda Nunes. So she's in action tomorrow as well. So it's a stacked card. So very excited. Right, let's try and jump down into the chat. See what people are talking about. Esteban said, I think I undersold AEW's ratings when I thought it would be 925. What are your thoughts on AEW breaking 1 million again? Well, yeah, I thought that it would be around that number. Obviously, the week before it was 1.2. So I expected them to drop 200,000, get to about 1 million. If they did it, I thought that would be good. 925, I don't think would have been a disaster by any means. But obviously there's something significant with being over 1 million. It very much is the benchmark, isn't it? So AEW coming in at, was it 1.1? Something along those lines, like easily over 1 million, with a bit to spare. So I thought that was great for them. That's 2 weeks in a row now that I've been really impressed with their numbers. Obviously, if they can get over 1 million again for the 3rd week in a row without NXT, that would, again, be really big. I think there's a chance that, the next one could do that. 2 weeks in a row now, I've been impressed with their numbers. Next week, I think you've got to be looking for over 1 million. I think if it goes under 1 million next week, then that will be a bit disappointing. But yeah, they're doing great numbers wise. They're doing really, really well. And there was nothing on this show that was really that eye catching. Like the main event was Darby Allin taking on Jungle Boy, right? So it's not as if we had like Kenny Omega defending the AEW championship in the main event. So I think what's really encouraging for them is that they've got their fan base, which is about 750. They've added a good 400,000. And all right, that number might go down over time, but they're not having to really do much for that. Like, they're not having to do big AEW championship matches or bring in big celebrities or anything like this. Like, there really wasn't any of that on Wednesday. Like, there was no Cody on Wednesday. There was no Bucks. Like, Bucks did a little backstage thing with Kenny, a little, do you know what I mean, promo thing. And Moxley did a little, he was in that segment. But I don't think that segment was advertised. So there was no Cody, there was no Omega, there was no Bucks, there was no Moxley, there was no big celebrities. The main event was Jungle Boy versus Darby Allin. So you do look at it and go, and that managed to get 1.1. They're in a good place, man. They're in a good place, considering this is, what, the second year, full year of them being in existence. They're doing all right. WWE have just announced that it'll be Bianca versus Bayley for the title at Backlash, says Lauren. Okay, that's good. That's interesting. Bianca versus Bayley for the title. I'm not sure how Bayley has earned that right. That would be my first question. Like, what did Bayley do to win that opportunity? Why could we not have done a fatal four-way tonight? Why have we announced that? I don't understand. Bayley didn't wrestle at WrestleMania. She hasn't done anything after WrestleMania. And now she gets a title match. I don't understand that. So, like, that's a bit of a shame in the sense of, why didn't we do a fatal four-way and give, like, you know, women an opportunity to become the number one contender? I don't get why we would just announce that. I don't know. I mean, I'm into the match. Don't get me wrong. I've no issue with the match. I just think, like, could we not have done, like, isn't that what is? We've got 2 hours tonight. Are we saying the show is that stacked? That stacked. There was no way that we could fit. We haven't got room. How are we going to shoehorn in a number one contenders match? Like, I'm sure we could have found a way. I'm sure this show had better be perfect now. Are we really saying there was no way that we could fit this in? I find that hard to believe. Hasib said, Days, I was wondering, what was your first ever watch along? Do you know? I don't know. Legit, I don't know. I would guess that it would be something after WrestleMania 35, 34. When was 2018? 2018 would have been 34? Hang on, 2018, 34. 2019, 35. 2020, 36. Right. Yeah, so I'm guessing that it would have been straight after 34. So when I moved here in 2018, I knew I wanted to do watch-alongs, but because we weren't doing them before that, so I wasn't able to. But as soon as I moved here, I was. So 2018, I moved here, wanted to do watch-alongs, but I was really trying lots of different things. Like, I was doing quite a few figure videos and whatever, and just kind of seeing what was, like, working and what people wanted, and, you know, what was I going to do every day, because I'd had a full-time job in retail, so this was me, like, dedicating myself. I knew I wanted to do watch-alongs, but I also wanted to make sure that was definitely the right way forward. So I tried loads of stuff, built up to WrestleMania. Few things worked, few things didn't, and then we got going with the watch-along straight after. So I wish we'd have done WrestleMania, but to be honest, I wasn't fully set up for it by that point. There was still, like, bits I needed to get and things I needed to learn, to be honest. Like, learning how to stream took me a little while to get my head around. It wasn't as if I moved in, it's like, right, yeah, let's stream. I was trying lots of stuff and having to figure out how to do it and how to make the graphics and how to set it, how to do it, how OBS works and all that boring stuff. So we weren't ready for WrestleMania, but we were ready just after. So at a guess, I would say it was a Raw or a SmackDown straight after WrestleMania in 2018, and then we've been pretty much going since then. To be honest, we've been going for a good few years now. Good few years. Days Bailey Bianca has been announced. Yes. Ronnie Davis. Shout out to you, my friend. That's very kind. I can see a pair working out, which is exactly what I need to do, really. But yeah, I appreciate the support, buddy. You should have put a little text in there, Ronnie. Got a little thought across. So I hope you are well, my friend. Really do appreciate the support. And I appreciate the support from everyone as well. Great to see so many people joining us on a regular basis. And obviously, we're well past WrestleMania now. So that's obviously the big season for wrestling. So it's great to see so many people still sticking around and enjoying WWE. I think it's easier to enjoy it on a Friday than it is on a Monday. But fingers crossed, fingers crossed that Monday can improve. But, yeah, there's no denying this is my favourite stream of the week. And it should be a good show. Cerebral Assassin says, who has the biggest potential to break out as a top star and take over the wrestling business, regardless of company? Who has got the ability to break out and take over the wrestling business? So we're talking about who is the next big star. I don't know that there's a name that I could say that I'm thinking will take over the wrestling business, because I don't know that you can really take over the wrestling business. You've got so many big companies now that someone breaking through in New Japan isn't really gonna take over the wrestling business. Someone taking over AEW isn't really going to take over the wrestling business. I mean, the name that comes to mind, first of all, is Karrion Kross. The reason why I say that is because obviously they see a lot in him. He is being pushed and booked very well in NXT. I think he's still undefeated. His entrance is epic and leads itself and lends itself very well to sports entertainment. Scarlett looks like $1 million by his side. Again, she's going to be great for the visual and the package, and just there's a lot going for him. He's a good wrestler. I know he's not had many great matches, but I thought his match with Finn Balor was very good. His promo skills are great. I think Scarlett looks awesome as well. He's being booked very well. The overall package lends itself very well to the main roster. It's not like Timothy Thatcher or, you know what I mean? It's not someone that's going to struggle when they go to the main roster. It's someone that Vince is going to love. Like, Vince will love Karrion. He's a big guy. Scarlett looks great. That to me would be he's going to be fine when he goes to the main roster. Like, his main event all day long. So I think Karrion Kross has got a very, very bright future. So that would be the first name that comes to mind. I don't know that I could really think of many more, to be perfectly truthful, because I do think when you get to the main roster of WWE, your size is going to be a factor. So you need to be a decent size. I don't know that they've got many big guys down in NXT at the moment. Everyone's on the smaller side. Obviously, Adam Cole is going to be a big deal when he moves up, but I don't know when he's going to do that. Or if he's ever going to do that. I mean, he's been in NXT for years now. He's been in NXT longer than what you would think. So I don't know when they're going to pull the trigger on him. But perhaps they're protecting him. Perhaps there's been conversations where Vince just doesn't see it. I honestly don't know. But yeah, or maybe he just doesn't want to go. Like, because he's seen how the others have been treated. So, but those would be the names that come to mind. Days, I can't explain how excited I am for tomorrow. I'm going to go with Valentina Shevchenko, Usman, and most importantly, and this is most importantly, Thug Rose to win tomorrow out of the big title fights. I can't wait for the roar of the crowd. Always makes me think of that song. Daniel, shout out to you. Yeah, I feel exactly the same, buds. So, what is it? 15,000 people, packed arena. I understand there's going to be people that have got their concerns about that, and I would be right there with you. But Florida, doing Florida things. So Florida seems to think it's ready to open back up. And so there's going to be a full arena, 3 title fights, and lots of big names. It is very, very exciting. Dace, who do you personally think that Roman's next challenger will be? I think it'll be Edge. However, I've just got a feeling in the back of my mind that they might hold fire on Edge for now, says Harry Richards. Yeah, I agree. I think they could hold fire on Edge. I think it's a big match, that one-on-one. And are they going to do that for the next pay-per-view? I don't know. I honestly don't know. I definitely think it's an option, but I do agree they could also just wait on it a little bit more. So maybe it will be Daniel versus Roman. I would think it unlikely that it's going to be Big E, just because I don't think that Big E's ready to win the title. I know he's had the Intercontinental Championship run, but still doesn't feel like we're quite there yet. I'm not seeing people desperate for Big E to get the opportunity. Obviously, they could tease it, and that might start people talking and get the ball rolling. But I kind of feel like there's a long road. Like Daniel, if you think about when Kofi won and when Daniel won, there was a big build. It was so long. Like Daniel winning the title really started 2 years before. So Daniel was actually world heavyweight champion and then lost to Sheamus in 8 seconds? I can't remember. I remember Sheamus wearing a shirt with the amount of time that it took. It was 8 seconds. It was no time at all. And the fans were appalled. The fans were up in arms that Daniel had been treated that way. And for the next 2 years, they slowly started building, Daniel up, and the fans really were behind him anyway, but it got to fever pitch, and they kept kind of teasing that he was going to win the title, and then there would be something that would get in the way, the whole B+ player thing. He finally wins the title at SummerSlam, then was it Orton cashes in on him, and all of this. It was like a really long build, and then finally at WrestleMania 30, even at WrestleMania 30, he had to win earlier in the night to get into the main event. So they put so many roadblocks and obstacles in his way. And then when he finally did it, it was such a big moment. And think about Kofi Mania getting in, to that gauntlet match, doing so well in that. Then going to the Elimination Chamber, doing so well in that. Again, he wasn't meant to be the one that was going for the title, but, it was a good few months build. So I kind of feel that if it is going to be Big E, it needs a big build for months. If it's going to be Big E, he should be the one for SummerSlam, and we should build for that now. Have them do segments with Roman now on a regular basis, build towards SummerSlam, and do Big E versus Roman, but start the build now. I really wouldn't do Big E versus Roman for WrestleMania Backlash. I just kind of think, it's too close. We're only about 3 weeks away from it. And a 3-week build is it's not anything, is it? 3 weeks. It's nothing. That's 2 weeks and a go-home show. I think it's going to need much, much more than that. So I personally would take Big E off the table for WrestleMania Backlash. I think, probably look at Daniel or Edge. I think either of those are, going to be fine for WrestleMania Backlash. I think Roman retains, and then, we're well on the road then to SummerSlam. Of course, we got Money in the Bank in between. I'm sure there'll be someone there, but I'm at the point now where I'm ready. I can remember last year saying I would not take the title off Roman till at least SummerSlam, and I said I know that's a long time, but trust me, it needs to feel like a big moment. Here we are, end of April. He's still got the belt. We're in a good place. It will feel like a big deal when someone beats Roman, and I do hope that is going to be Big E. Esteban said, does Scarlett wrestle in NXT yet? No. Always thought she had a lot of potential. They haven't pulled the trigger on her doing that yet, and in all fairness, I don't think the women's division really needs it. I think that if you're going to have Scarlett wrestle, it needs to be a moment. I mean, it will be a moment. It'll be something a bit special because we haven't seen that from her. So I think that you would need it to be kind of Carrion and Johnny having a feud. Like, say Johnny becomes babyface in the future, and you get Carrion. Oh, actually, no, you could do it anyway, couldn't you? Because Carrion's kind of a tweener. So Johnny as a heel, you might be able to get away with that. So, like, make Carrion a bit more of a face. But you could do Carrion versus Johnny in the future if you tell the story right. And then that would allow you to do, you know, Candice beats up Scarlett whilst Johnny's feuding with Carrion. And then that might allow you to do Candice and Scarlett, which would be a great match. Do you know what I mean? You could tell a whole story of how you're building up towards that. So, yeah, there's lots of potential for her to get into the ring. I understand she can compete and she can go, but we've not seen it yet. The other thing I do want to just talk about before, like, 'cause we are going to run out of time. We've already got halfway through this hour before. I don't feel like we've really spoke about anything, but yeah, that bag. We've got to quickly talk about the bag that Mickie James was sent. It was pretty bad, wasn't it? It was pretty tasteless stuff, to be honest, that she got sent that from WWE. And obviously it was all over Twitter. They dealt with it. Is it Steve Corino, I think his name was? He was like the person that used to let people go. We've seen him many times on many different behind-the-scenes shows. I think we saw him quite a bit on Total Divas when we were doing Total Divas watch-alongs. Oh, is his name Mark Corino, actually? I think it might be Mark Corino. So he got let go. The rumors are, the news is, I believe he was connected to Mickie receiving her items that way. So if you've not seen it, she basically got a bag, like a rubbish bag that had what I believe her spare gear and stuff like that in. And it was just sent in like this bag that was like in a box. And Mickie was like, at Vince McMahon, I received your care package. Thank you so much. Like, she was being sarcastic, of course. And people are like, this is no way to treat a legend. And, you know, it did suck. Like, but I don't think it's the biggest issue in the world, to be honest. But, I mean, it's just not how you would treat a legend. One of the legends of your company, just shoving their stuff in a bag. So, yeah, it just didn't look great on social media. And a lot of people have been talking about it. And Chris Jericho actually tweeted out about it. He just tweeted on the picture, classy, the word classy. So, which I thought was a bit strange, considering they just allowed him to do Broken Skull sessions. So, I don't know why. I don't know quite why he spoke out on it, but it did suck, in all fairness. But yeah, even he was had a thought on it. So, like, I saw Nick Aldis saying, shall I do an unboxing video? I don't know that he did. But apparently Chelsea received one very similar, because Zack Ryder said that Nick Aldis should do that unboxing because Chelsea wouldn't let him do hers. So I think Chelsea received the same. I think everyone probably received the same, their stuff in a bag, in like a, I think it was a bin bag kind of a thing. Yeah, like he was joking about doing an unboxing. But there was a lot of stories that came out after where people were saying that apparently he wasn't a nice guy, this Mark Corino. I think Darren Young said that quite a few times he, like, took the mick out of him for losing his job. Like, this Mark Corino took the mick out of Darren Young for losing his job. It was all a bit, I don't know, all of a sudden there was all these stories that started coming out about how he wasn't, like, a really good, nice guy. So, I don't know. I don't like to see anyone lose their jobs. I don't know if he was a good person or a bad person. That job is one of the worst jobs. Can you imagine having that job? You are someone that has to speak to the wrestlers whenever they step out of line. Can you imagine how many times they step out of line? And can you imagine having to have conversations with the likes of Randy Orton about, like, something he's done wrong? like Vince didn't like this. You're the person that has to. You're the messenger. But that was his job. He was the messenger. So you've got to have really thick skin because you're really going between Vince and the wrestlers. And like if ever the wrestlers get let go, you're the one that's having to call them. So it's a sucky job. So I don't know. Don't like to see anyone lose their job. But there was stories coming out that he wasn't a great guy anyway. And then there was reports there was lots of other people being let go backstage. So, yeah, quite a bit of activity behind the scenes this week in WWE. John Honey said, Days, I've got tickets to UFC 261. I'm at the airport now. Buddy, have fun. Have a great time. Well, you're going to have a great time. I mean, I don't know if you saw the weigh-ins for UFC. The crowd, like, did you see the press conferences? The crowd were going mental. Like, they were proper loud. They were proper up for it. There was real excitement. Like, it's going to be like a festival atmosphere. It's going to be a great crowd. So, John, honey, have fun, my friend. You will. You absolutely will. Who do you think is the best superstar right now? I think best superstar right now, I love what they're doing with Roman. I love what they're doing with Roman. I don't know if he's the best in ring, but I think from overall, I think in ring is great anyway. But promo wise and Paul Heyman, the story and all of that, absolutely brilliant. Joaquin Uribe said, Days, are you a B+ player? I dream of getting to those levels. But I'm not there yet. Anthony said, Days, Sasha is going to be taking months off. Is she? I can't say I've heard that news. I can't say I've heard that she's going to be going away for a long time, but yeah, I mean, maybe she will. She's done a lot, in all fairness, you know. Last year, she and Bayley as a tag team working together for, all throughout the pandemic. Then, her little feud with Bayley, which I think was underwhelming. In truth, I think we were all hoping for more from that feud. Like, the payoff just didn't feel that satisfying. So, I kind of think that, she probably does deserve a little bit of time off now. But Bayley as well, you could argue. There's definitely some talent that can kind of carry the ship whilst they're away. And honestly, I do think that there's probably an argument that wrestlers should be taking time off on a bit of a regular basis. We don't need to see everyone all the time. Like, if Sasha goes away now, great. It'll just be special when she returns. Like, it's going to be special when Becky returns. It'll be special when Sasha comes back. I kind of feel like she had a good little run. Give her a month off now. Yeah, like bit of holiday. Kind of think if you did that with wrestlers, it would just make the product feel fresh, changing. You know, you'd always have talking points where people are coming back. It helps them to like heal up their bodies. I know it's not really the way that wrestling is done because back in the old days, you know, there used to be a load of house shows. And as a result, wrestlers were on the road all the time and there was no holidays. It was literally like, honestly, wrestlers just worked for like 5 years straight, 8 years straight, and weren't really taking many breaks. Like maybe they'd get the odd week, but really it was just a constant on the road, non-stop. But I kind of think like now in particular, you can definitely get away with giving someone a few weeks off at least. So I really wouldn't be down on that. She's going off to film The Mandalorian. Well, I hope that she gets some time to rest up as well. So, I mean, if she's going off to do Mandalorian stuff, that's great. That's great for her brand. But, yeah, I hope she can rest up as well because, obviously, those knocks and everything do build up. Days, surely something will happen between Seth and Roman after what happened last week. Hopefully we get a little tease of either a reunion or a feud, says Harley. Shout out to you, Harley. Mr. Meme said, Days, did you hear that Daniel wants to leave WWE? I did. Yeah, I read a quick report, but I didn't really read the details. but I saw him talking about the fact he wants to wrestle for other companies. So I don't know that he wants to particularly leave WWE in the sense of he's unhappy or anything like that. I think he wants to work out his contract, and I don't know when that expires. But as soon as his contract does expire, I don't know if WWE are going to give him like good money. You know, if Daniel Bryan went to AEW, that could be a problem, right? That could be a problem. So I don't know if he's saying it because, you know, it's a good way of guaranteeing another big contract, or if he genuinely wants to go to the likes of Ring of Honor. I think if he went to Ring of Honor, WWE wouldn't be bothered. Or if he went to maybe New Japan, maybe WWE might not be too bothered. If he goes to AEW, WWE would be bothered. I don't care what noises they're making about not seeing AEW as a threat, right? I understand that Jericho was on the podcast. I understand that they've said on a conference call that like they don't worry about anyone else. They only focus on themselves, blah, 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 blah. But they do not want Daniel Bryan going to AEW, right? No way. No way. So I think that this is actually him making noises to get a tastier contract because he's got to know. He's got to know that they don't want that happening. He's too big of a name. If Daniel Bryan goes to AEW, that is headlines. That is big news. That is big time. That is a big name. Like, you can let go people like Rusev, people like... I mean, I was surprised at Rusev, in all honesty, but there's levels to this game. And Daniel Bryan is top tier when it comes to name recognition. So, I think it's contract, to be honest. Tatiana said, my personal rankings for all the shows, I've got NXT UK at 1, NXT at 2, SmackDown at 3, 205 at 4, Raw at 5. Alvin says, breaking news, Bianca Belair is going to defend her title against Bayley at WrestleMania Backlash. Does anyone know Shane Helms, says Purple Gorilla. He's my neighbor. That's cool. Pikachu Girl Fan 2021 says Randy Orton called himself the Viper, the Predator, the Legend Killer, and he does his RKO move on every other superstar as well as Nia Jax and Alexa Bliss. Randy Orton has had such a good run, hasn't he? I think Randy Orton's doing some of the best work of his career. I think he's really one of the most interesting superstars even today. I think promo-wise, there's very few superstars that can get on his level. And it'd be very interesting to see what he's going to do now, because I think his feud with The Fiend is done. So I'm not quite sure what's next for Randy Orton. Wayne said, I want a 6-piece chicken nuggets with Pepsi. Okay, I think what's happened here is you've confused me with the person you speak to at drive-thrus. It's easily done. It's easily done. But, that's not what... Unfortunately, that's not quite what we do here. Although, maybe that is a service I could bring in, where you shout your orders at me, and then I just ring up, like, Just Eat or whatever, and get it sent over to you for you. Like, that could be a whole new element to the watch-alongs. So, well, I'll pencil that down. I'll put that down in the suggestions box for you. Dylan said, Days, in my experience of watching WWE, I've never heard a reason why a superstar would be released of getting their own throat. Don't know what you mean. Austin says, someone brought up about how Bryan might go elsewhere from WWE. Yes. I only watch the pay-per-views nowadays, says Monte. Well, SmackDown is good. Raw is a struggle. But, SmackDown tends to be a decent show. Although, last week, not amazing, in truth. But, we'll see. I mean, we are building towards WrestleMania Backlash, so we'll see what comes of tonight. Alex Bloomfield says, did you hear the unfortunate news about NXT producer Cornell and his fiancée Nicole? A GoFundMe has been set up to help. Horrible stuff. His Twitter is Cornell Gunter for those that want to support. Is this to do with the baby that passed away? There was something to do with a newborn baby that sadly didn't make it. I don't know if this is that, but I'm guessing it is. Because, to be honest, I only saw a little bit about it. And I didn't see a news report on it. I just saw it trending on Twitter. And when I clicked on it, I saw it was about a newborn passing away in a hospital. I don't know the reasons why the newborn didn't make it, but it seemed like it needed some support and some help, and it didn't get it. And I saw that the dad had NXT branding, and like in the bio, it said, "We are NXT." So that would make sense that it connects with this. So I might have seen that story if we are talking about the same thing, but not enough to really make a comment on it, to be honest. But either way, awful, awful, awful. I mean, what else can you say? So, yeah, absolutely thoughts with them. Andres Hunter says, where did you get the Andre book? I do have an Andre book here. I think, where did I show this? Wrestling Escape Pod, was it? Yes, it was, wasn't it? Yeah, this Andre book. Awesome. I bought this in America, not when I went last time, but when I went ages ago. I've actually been to Florida about 4 times. I know that sounds fancy, but Florida is actually quite not a cheap holiday, but compared to like going to Spain, it's not much more. Like if you want to go to get a flight to Spain and spend 2 weeks in Spain, you could probably spend the same money and spend 2 weeks in Florida. Like, it is crazy how cheap it is to get to Florida. You've got to go at the right time of year. But if you go, like, say, March, it's still quite warm in Florida. You're still getting good temperatures because it's pretty good all year round. I don't know what December, January is like, November, December, January. But if you go in March, it's, starting to hit springtime. And certainly whenever I've been, it's been great. 70s and really nice. So you've got to go at the right time of year. But you could spend, I think I was spending about £1,000, maybe not even that, £800, probably about that, about £800. I mean, you are talking a few years ago. 2 weeks, hotel, flights, about £800. Now, I would say 2 weeks, flights, Spain, probably going to be around that ballpark. I mean, maybe even if it's £500 for that for Spain, a few £100 more to go to Florida, I'll take that all day long. So yeah, I went quite a few times when I was at work, and had like going out with mates or whatever. We would save up and we'd like go over together. So I was going over to Florida with my friends, and I did that around 06, 08, kind of around that time. I don't know when this book came out, actually, but this book I saw, what year, out of interest, what year did this book come out? Don't know if it's going to give me that information, but I was over in Florida. No, it doesn't tell me. I was over in Florida, and I saw this book, and I basically was reading it at night whilst I was over there, and particularly on the plane. And it's one of the very few books I've actually read all the way through. But yeah, it's all about Andre the Giant. But this wasn't, I didn't get this in 2018. This would have been from like 2010 or around that time. But really, really good book. There's another Andre book that's come out since that I think is even more detailed. Like, really goes through like everything about him. Like, even to the point of what he was getting paid. Like, it's got all the information. This one is a bit more of just like, the highlights. Gives you a great like insight into his life. It's a great book, but there's a newer one that I think might be even more detailed and even better. So, but I don't read books, to be perfectly truthful. I would very much just wait for a documentary and watch that, or an audio book. I'd probably do that. In fact, I think that on the new Andre one, which in my mind is a silver cover. I can't remember what it's called. But it's I'm sure it's like a silver cover, and quite a few of the podcasts that I listen to have read it and I know Jim Cornette was, raving about it, said it's one of the best books, one of the best wrestling books ever. There's another wrestling book I really want to read, which is on Buddy Rogers, the original Nature Boy. And he is not only the first ever WWE champion, but he is basically the superstar that Ric Flair based his character on. In fact, Buddy Rogers used to use the figure 4 leg lock as his finisher and also was known as the Nature Boy. So he was basically the original Ric Flair. And Ric Flair took a lot of his stuff from Buddy Rogers. So, I'd love to read that book. So there is actually a wrestling book out there I do want to get my hands on. But where did I get it from Hogan Shop? No, I don't think Hogan Shop might have it. They do have a lot of Andre stuff. But no, where did I get it? I actually bought it from... it was on International Drive in Florida from, I think, just a no-name bookshop, to be perfectly truthful. I think there was a bookshop on International Drive, and I went in. They had like a little sports section, and I just found it there. So, I mean, you'd get it from like a Barnes & Noble. I think that's a bookshop in America. I don't think you've got Borders anymore, do you? I don't know. But you'd get it. You'd get it most bookshops. Right, let's go back down. Days, have you been to a pay-per-view? No. Wrestle with Andy, shout out to you. No, I've not been to a pay-per-view. I have, no. I mean, like, I've never been to a pay-per-view in America or UK, really. The only things I've been to are, like, those UK ones. So I went to UK Blackpool, Takeover Blackpool. Does that count as a pay-per-view? I don't know. I went to that. So I went to Takeover Blackpool. Have I been to Takeover Blackpool? Have they been there twice? I definitely was there for the tournament to crown the first UK champion. I was there in 2017 for that. And I was at Takeover Blackpool when it was I was there the night Volta arrived in WWE. How about that? That's something I never mentioned. But it was Pete Dunne versus Joe Coffey, Takeover Blackpool. And as soon as the match was finished, Pete Dunne retained his title. Music hit. Down came Volta. If you've not seen that moment, you've got to check it out. It is awesome. It is amazing. I think it's from like 2019, something like this. Blackpool, Takeover. And it's such a great moment. It was a really good match as well. There was 2 really good matches on that show. I remember we got Pete Dunne versus Joe Coffey in the main event, and we got Mustache Mountain versus, I think it was Grizzled Young Veterans. And that was to crown the first tag champs, the first NXT tag team champions, Mustache Mountain versus Grizzled Young Veterans. Yes. That was the opening match, and that was great. But yeah, I was there when Volta arrived. So no, I've seen the first NXT UK champ get crowned in Tyler Bate. I was there when Volta arrived, and they crowned the first tag champs. I was at the recording when Rhea Ripley won the women's NXT UK women's title. I was because that was in Birmingham. So I was there as well. So I've been at the shows when the first NXT UK champ was crowned, Tyler. The first NXT UK women's champ was crowned, Rhea. And the first NXT UK tag champs were crowned in Grizzled Young Veterans. I was there for all of those, live in person, which is, I love that fact that I was there for all 3 of those. That's like something I really treasure. But I've never been to a pay-per-view. I wasn't at SummerSlam 92. Did you get in touch with that girl? Wrestle with Andy found out that was a woman, that was a girl. But the one that was like, the Bulldog's gonna win whether he wants to or not. At the start of SummerSlam 92. I don't know if I should say or not. I think I might have ruined it. Check out Wrestle with Andy. Because I know you was trying to get an interview with them. I never saw if you actually managed to do it or not. Days, how cool would it be if Jay attacks Cesaro backstage, but Cesaro destroys him and injures him, and Jay can't do anything? And then Seth walks up to Roman, and we get Seth and Roman versus Cesaro. Nakamura, it'd be very, very cool. I'd be down for that. I hope they don't refer themselves as the Shield, though, because you can't really call yourselves the Shield without Ambrose being around. But yeah, it would be very cool. JS17 said, do you think Randy is going to feud with Riddle or form RK Bro? Personally, I want to see RK Bro. It would be funny with Riddle waffling on with a scooter whilst there's a sociopath next to him. To be honest, I missed half of Raw this week, so I do know that Riddle beat Orton. I know that, but I didn't see the match, so I don't know how good the match was. We had, and obviously apologies for that. We have streamed since, of course. We streamed on Tuesday, Wednesday, whatnot. But there was a fault in the local area. So we was doing this exact thing. We was talking and everything was good. And then, boo, everything crashed and went down. And then for the next hour and a half, no joke, I was trying to get it back. I reset the routers, I reset the computer. I tried to make sure like the credit was on and that we hadn't run out of data and all this kind of stuff. And everything was absolutely fine. But I just wasn't receiving any signal into the house. So I believe it was like the mast in the local area. And the next morning, everything worked and everything was fine. So, yeah, I think there was a fault in the area and there was nothing we could do. So I didn't see half of Raw. I was faffing around with that. So I can't tell you if there was any indication that they're going to team together or whatnot. I genuinely don't know. I mean, if they do team together, that could be fun. The only thing I would say is the tag divisions are pretty dead. They might be coming back to life now, like the Viking Raiders are back, and we can't be too far away from the Usos coming back as well. So maybe there is a bit of life coming back into them. But I don't know, past 12 months, 16 months, 10 years, I don't know, they've been dead. So it gets a bit hard to get too excited for the idea of tag teams. Do you know what I mean? Don't know. Maybe I'd have them feud. Maybe I'd just have them feud. 6 minutes? 6 flipping minutes? That's all we've got, my friends. 6 minutes. How do we... I don't know how we do it. I have no idea how we have literally nothing to talk about and we just have like loads to just chat away with. So I've already sent a little tweet out, but because we're so close to the show beginning, I do want to just send another one just to let people know that we are live. I want to see Bianca Belair. She is so beautiful, says Albanique Fret. Can you see it again with YouTube replay, says William. Oh, you can see it again with YouTube. Yeah. I mean, I suppose I could find the clips and just watch the clips on YouTube. The only thing is, I don't know if you get I don't know. It doesn't tend to be the whole match, does it? Like, I think it's just like the end of the match. I don't know that you get like the whole match. So I don't know if I'll get the. I don't know. Do you know what? It didn't even cross my mind to even look. If I'm telling the truth. But I think you only tend to get the final few minutes. Hayden, shout out to you, says, tomorrow is Anzac Day. It's going to be a very special day. I don't know what that is, my friend. What is Anzac Day? Please respond. Please let us know. What is Anzac Day? Why should we care? What is an Anzac? I don't know what one is. So shout out to you, Hayden. Help me to get excited. Help me to understand what this is. I could Google it, but this is your chance to shine, Hayden. There's a lot of pressure on you now, right? There's a whole community, a whole chat right now that have no idea what Anzac is. Not a single one of us. Please educate us. Going Ghost said, where's the voiceover woman? Does she have Fridays off? Did I delete her off or something? Where is she? Going Ghost said, Going Ghost is a legend and donated $5. said, Days, did you see the care package that Vince and WWE sent to Mickie James after she was released? That was so disrespectful. Go, shout out to you, buddy. I hope you are well. I did. We briefly touched on the subject. It was disrespectful. It was something that you wouldn't expect them to do for a legend. In fairness, it's pretty moody to do for anyone, but certainly not a legend like Mickie James. But I do think that it's became a bigger story maybe than it needed to be. I think Mickie, is probably right to show the way that people get treated. And obviously, looks like, someone lost their job as a result. And then we started getting people speaking out about how he wasn't a nice guy and stuff like this. So I did see that news, yes. But I don't know. It's done now, isn't it? It's done. And I thought the way they treated with it was very good. Like, Triple H straight away came onto Twitter. And he's like, I'm really appalled by this. Steph as well on Twitter saying, I can't believe this. It's so disrespectful. So I thought that, they dealt with it very well, actually. But yeah, it was disrespectful. It definitely shouldn't have happened. Where's Hayden? This is Hayden's chance to shine. Where are you, Hayden? Come on, Hayden. You're not going to have just told us this news and then run away, are you? Are you? Maybe the pressure got to him. It's understandable. C2W 11, maybe? Onya. Okay. C2W. What is this? C2W 11 Onya. That name needs explaining. What is that about? What is that about? I need to know what that name's about. C2W 11 Onya. There's a lot going on there. You could watch it back on BT Catch Up. I didn't even know that was a thing. Legit, I didn't even know that was an option. I didn't even know BT had a catch-up service. Okay, that's cool. I could definitely explore that. Although, to be perfectly honest, do I want to? To be perfectly honest, I might have dodged a bullet, mightn't I? I missed half of Raw for a legitimate reason. Do I really want to go back and watch it? Just saying. And what is your name about? Please let me know. Please respond. Where's Hayden gone? Where has Hayden gone? Is Hayden a bot? Is Hayden just coming in with like random bot facts and then running away? What's going on? What's going on, Hayden? What is this? How dare you jump in here and fire in like that fact and then run out? I'm starting to think Hayden doesn't really exist. I'm starting to think that Hayden Garrett might actually be a bot. And he's just firing in like facts that he's finding from Google. Perhaps it's connected to the Google Doodle. Perhaps the Google Doodle is something to do with Aztec Day or something. And I don't know. I think there's a whole conspiracy going on here. I think there's a whole conspiracy. Gaming in Real Time said, Days, you missed my last $5 super chat. Oh, I'm sorry. I haven't got anyone reading them out. So as I'm chatting away, they're slipping past. Can I just say, YouTube is trash for this. Like, on the top of my chat, I don't even have them, like, showing, so I can just click on them. If I don't see them at the time, there's nothing to tell me that they came through. If I've missed them, they just go. Oh, this flipping alarm. Yeah. Right, let's read out Gaming in Real Time. The alarm tells us that we have started. We are going over. It is, of course, just a video package to start. Gaming in Real Time says, happy to see your internet is back. Same here. WrestleMania was a bit underwhelming, in my opinion. Not sure why they're calling the next pay-per-view WrestleMania Backlash. I think it's because they're on Peacock and they want people to think it's WrestleMania is the truth. I think anything that they can call WrestleMania to casual fans will feel big. If it's called WrestleMania, then casual fans will look at it and think, is this WrestleMania? Or is this connected to WrestleMania? Or is this must be good because it's something to do with WrestleMania? Is my honest answer that I honestly think they're trying to do. I honestly think they're now exploring the world of clickbait, which you love to see, don't you? You love to see. Oh, Hayden, you didn't need to fire it in as a super chat. Here we go, guys. Hayden, can I just apologize on behalf of the chat? There was a lot of people in the chat saying that they thought you was a bot and things like this. Maybe Hayden's not real. And I was saying, come on, guys. Hayden's been in this community for a long time. We know that Hayden's real. He's straight up 100 legit. Really nice guy. I had your back, buddy. I just want you to know this, yeah? But there's some fakers. There's some fakers in the chat. There's some fraudsters in this chat. And I just want to make you aware. So, guys, the very real Hayden Garrett says, as Anzac Day is a national day of remembrance in Australia and New Zealand that broadly commemorates all Australians and New Zealanders who have served and died in all of the wars. Well, there's not many people on the internet that would try and find humor in that, but here we are. I had no idea, buddy. I actually thought it was something to do with like heritage or something. Like in my mind, I was thinking Aztec. That's what I was thinking. In no way was I sat here thinking it was like something to do with remembrance. So shout out to you, the very real, once again, the very real Hayden Garrett. Right, the video package has ended. And you didn't need to super chat that, buddy. I was only looking for a normal comment. Oh, yes. C2W11 Onya said it was a clan in Call of Duty a long time ago. I've never changed my name. It's C2WII. Right. Shout out to you, man. C2WII, and it's connected to Call of Duty. Love it. Shout out to you, man. I heard the next Call of Duty is set in the 1980s, which is kind of fun. But that's for Call of Duty days. Right. Seth's here with Cesaro. You know why you've reached your potential? Because of me. Because you were in the ring at WrestleMania with me, with Seth freaking Rollins, the new Mr. WrestleMania. I gave you the night of your life. Sounds like he's talking to Becky. Seth says, where's my thanks? I haven't heard anything. It's a fun way to start the show, isn't it, with Cesaro? I mean, look at the push they're giving Cesaro. This isn't over. I forgot last week he had his eyes set on that Universal Championship. I forgot that it was Cesaro that had stepped up, but I don't know if they're ready to pull the trigger yet. Days, I'm a bot, says Randy. I thought you were. I think we all thought you were, in truth. I still blame the supernatural elite for Hayden's disappearance, says Tatiana. Am I the only one whose TV showing MIB? What's that? Men in Black instead of Smackdown? I've got Smackdown, but then I'm watching BT. Cesaro says to Seth, step in. I'll beat you here tonight, right here, right now. Seth is in his wrestling attire. Jey Uso? Main event Jey Uso. Okay, so Jey Uso's come out. He says, you better listen to this guy. He's got some good points. Everyone can beat Jey Uso. I'd fancy myself against Jey Uso. Hey, calm down. Chill out. Work together. We'll surround him. Watch me. Watch me. It's kind of weird, isn't it? Watching Seth work with Jey Uso. Is someone going to help Cesaro? Nakamura. Daniel Bryan. Oh, it should have been Nakamura, shouldn't it? Should have been Nakamura. Daniel Bryan has made his way out. Yes, in his way down to the ring. Remember when it was supposed to be Seth and Dean versus The Shield? Seth, no, man, these Samoans are tough. MLB is playing. I thought he said MIB. Right, they're walking away. I get it. And this is tag match, innit? First match will be tag match. This is weird seeing Seth work with Jay just for tonight, says Hayden the Bot Garrett. I agree. It is a bit strange. I'm into it, though. Crazy Ginger Jake Holden, shout out to you. John says, maybe Nakamura's off enjoying Sushi Friday. Oh, I could be down for some Sushi Friday. I like sushi. I know not everyone's into it, but I like it. This is all right. This is all right. It's not really getting the heart racing. Do you know what I mean? But it's all right. Daniel Bryan said he's got an infinite amount of respect for Cesaro. Daniel says this guy hasn't had one break in his whole career. Daniel working hard here to put over Cesaro. You love to see it. Daniel's doing some good work here. I feel like Daniel's talking because they know Cesaro can't. Anyone else get that impression? Jimmy should get his shot at the main event before the return of the Usos. Jimmy said, a different Jimmy. Like I said, 10 to 15 boring, pointless promo coming up. Well, I think they're doing it to really get over Cesaro. They've just had, like, Daniel come out and really, put him over. Oh, we are getting Roman. Here we go. We are getting Roman. Roman making his way out. So, Roman making his way out. smile on his face. Vape Ross Vape said, let me holler at you, player. Let's have a tag match. Yes. Someone's going 1-on-1 with The Undertaker. Here we go. C2WII, own ya. Shout out to you, buddy. Welcome. He's got a smile on his face. He's talking to Daniel. Stack. Oh, he's got a new shirt. Smash 'em, stack 'em, pin 'em. Daniel, you're the one on the bottom. You're the one on the bottom here. I love that. I love that. Smash 'em, stack 'em, pin 'em. Everything's a shirt in WWE. Top tier losers. Roman says, look, Brian, you're a WrestleMania main event loser. He's having a lot of fun. Oh, I thought he was going to say B+ player. You're surrounded by people that want to whoop your ass. So Roman comes out and says a few words. Okay, so I'm guessing that it is going to be some sort of a tag match. What are you watching on? I'm watching on BT Sport. Primo is the GOAT. Cesaro can outwork Roman. Fact, says Heather. Shout out to you. Dylan said, days when Roman defends the title against whoever is next at WrestleMania Backlash, Jey Uso should be banned from ringside. He will definitely interfere. What's your thoughts about that? Yeah, I mean, that is a slight problem. The only thing I would say is I really can't see him interfering and costing someone a match at a pay-per-view. I think it's a bit, that's lazy. Do you know what I mean? I think that's the kind of thing you would do on SmackDown. I don't know it's the kind of thing that you would do at a pay-per-view. I think at a pay-per-view, he'd come down, interfere, but be foiled. Do you know what I mean? Like say it's Cesaro. It's Cesaro, Roman. Uso comes down, interferes, but I think at a pay-per-view, Cesaro overcomes that, and the match actually continues, and there's a different way that it finishes. I'm not saying Cesaro wins, but there's a different way it finishes. Or Jey Uso has to distract a few times or get creative. I kind of think that, you know, him coming down and distract, it's just a bit lazy. It's just a bit normal TV kind of booking. So you could ban him from ringside, certainly. But I think even if not, I'd be very disappointed if that's how, you know, that match was to finish at a pay-per-view. Just because it's a bit too lazy. But don't put it past WWE. Although I do feel a bit better, what with this being SmackDown. I don't think they would be that lazy. Raw, on the other hand, don't know. I've got no expectations when it comes to Raw booking. What current star do you think is most likely to make a shocking appearance at AEW? I honestly don't know. I mean, like, I feel like Rey Mysterio is a name that comes to mind. He's worked with them before. I believe he was on the first All In. And he was in a match, wasn't he? Wasn't it like maybe even the main event or co-main event? I can't remember the match, but in my head it was like Rey and Phoenix and someone else taking on the Bucks and someone else. So, anyway, I think there's a very, very good chance that if it doesn't work out with Dominic, I think Ray's only there because of Dominic. I think they're using Dominic. He wants to be there with him. If WWE, for whatever reason, don't continue with Dominic, or maybe Ray doesn't feel that Dominic's getting the chances he deserves or the breaks he deserves, or he feels the booking's not good enough, they might just see out that contract whenever it ends. And I could definitely see Ray going over to AEW. I think Ray has, always been... I mean, he was away from WWE for quite a while, wasn't he? Working on the independent scene and whatever. So, and he's worked with AEW before. He's got a good relationship with them. So, yeah, if the Dominic thing doesn't work out, I could definitely see something there. But it's all like when contracts are coming up, isn't it? And it's hard to say. Right. Cesaro and Daniel Bryan versus Seth and Jey Uso. Days, I want to slam bums. I don't know what that is. Cain Velasquez could go to AEW. Charlotte might go there. I doubt that. There's no way WWE would allow it. I mean, in fairness, I'm not sure they would really allow Ray. But they're certainly not allowing Charlotte. Ray has worked with ICW against current NXT UK star Kenny Williams, says Tatiana Wrestling. I want to see Drew versus Roman for the bout, says Jesse. I think that's something that we will get. I can see that happening at a future WrestleMania, to be honest. I think that's arguably the biggest match you could make in WWE right now. I think that Roman versus Rock will happen also. But, yeah, I mean, Drew is the guy on Raw, and Roman is the guy on SmackDown. And they did face each other. They faced each other a few times, actually. But they faced each other, I think, wasn't it Survivor Series? And it really got the appetite. Like, everyone was... I don't know that everyone was crazy for it, but the match was brilliant. The match was great, and I think people are really down for it again. So I can see them build into that in the future. Really wouldn't surprise me if it was the main event of next year's WrestleMania. Really wouldn't surprise me. Right, we are up and running with this tag team match. We're 20 minutes into the show already. Quite a long opening promo. Didn't really achieve a great deal other than getting Cesaro over. Nice little moment. I think Roman stole that, to be honest. Roman coming out, big smile on his face, got a new T-shirt, throwing some shade at Daniel Bryan. So I was really into it. But we are up and running with this tag match. Seth and Jay versus Cesaro and Daniel. I could see Jeff Hardy going to AEW. I could see that. I remember when wrestling was interesting, says Amy. Jimmy says, I love Bangladesh. I've been there before. I've never been to Bangladesh. I've never been over that side of the world at all. Europe is Poland is the furthest across I've gone. Days, it was a good open. We got Brian putting over Cesaro big time, cutting a funny promo. We got Seth and Roman having a little reunion. Obviously, Roman having a great promo as well. Cam Vlog says Roman is the best thing in WWE right now. Randy said, Days, would you like to see Brock Lesnar versus a wild silverback gorilla? Not really. Maybe in the 1950s. But I'm not sure you're getting away with that in the 2020s. I'm pretty sure the animal rights people would be all over that. And rightfully so. Great stream so far. I'm going to go, but I will be back for halftime scores. No worries, Tatiana. No worries. We are underway as Daniel is firing in the kicks and... oh, nice. It's like a Pele kick, kind of a mixture between a Pele kick and an Enziguri from Seth Rollins. And Daniel with a German bridges kick out by Seth. Dave's going to get a shout out. Yes, shout out to Space Ghost. Yes, Chance in the corner goes for flying knee. Gets hurled, big buckle bomb. Jey Uso, massive splash. 1, 2. Cesaro making the save. Cesaro having to come in there at the right time as Seth and Jey hurl him to the outside. Seth working really well with Jey Uso here, looking for a suplex on the outside, and Cesaro's definitely going to be feeling that. Good teamwork by Seth Rollins. Camvlog said, I'm kind of liking Seth and Jey and Roman. I'm hoping that it goes somewhere. What if Brock Lesnar faces Shinsuke Nakamura? That would be good. I'd be really down for that because that calls back to their New Japan feud. Obviously, the two faced each other, I believe, at a Wrestle Kingdom. And I know that Shinsuke has spoken before about how after the match he just burst into tears. He said he really was very down on Brock Lesnar, Shinsuke Nakamura. He said that it really upset him how little Brock cared about wrestling. I think Shinsuke had a very similar experience working with Brock as Dean Ambrose did. You know all those stories about how Dean had, or John Moxley now, or Jonathan Good, if you want to use his real name, had all these ideas for WrestleMania. I think it was WrestleMania 32. He had all these ideas of cool stuff they could do. And Brock just wasn't interested. Brock was just like, get in the ring, let me suplex you, we'll go home. And that was it. And that was all Brock wanted to do. So, but Ambrose had all of these ideas that of things that he wanted to explore and things he wanted to do. And I think that Shinsuke had a very similar experience in New Japan. And in his book, he lays into Brock a little bit. So, I'd definitely be down for that. But it might be a little bit awkward. I'm not sure it's a match we're ever going to see. Natalya and Tamina versus Nia Jax. Heather says, don't forget Days Tangaloa from New Japan. He is nicknamed the Silverback. I'd be down for that. Down for seeing that match. The next for Fiend will be Bray, says William. Ramesh says, Roman, WWE King. He is my favorite. I'm in India. Shout out to India. Hope you are well, my friend. If you are just joining us, we're coming up to about quarter of the way through the show. It's been okay. It's been watchable. There's some moments in them promos. Opening match, all right. I don't know. It just hasn't really felt like there's been much of significance. But, it's just been pushing the story along. I mean, you've still got Roman making fun of Daniel. Do you know what I mean? So, and obviously, they're putting over Cesaro. Be interested to see where this goes. It's all right. It's all right. We're coming back from a commercial break right now. We're coming back to this. We've actually got a little advert for this Roddy Piper thing. Did you see that clip that's doing the rounds? Someone, I can't remember who sent it me. I did retweet it. Hang on, let me go onto Twitter so I can give the person the credit that they are due. Someone sent me this. It was Alex Bloomfield. Credit to you. Sent me the clip of Vince. Vince is sat there, right? And his phone, Vince, ready to be interviewed for a documentary about Roddy Piper. So he's sat in a suit. And he looks at his phone and he goes, hello, Roddy. And he answers the phone and pretends that he's talking to Roddy Piper. And he says something along the lines of, is it warm down there? And he goes, what, you've saved me a place at the table? And he's making out that Roddy is in hell. and he's making out that Roddy has saved a place for him down in hell, and Vince is just having fun. And it is so weird to see Vince McMahon, like, in that kind of a way, like, having fun, pretending that he's talking to Roddy and that Roddy's in hell. And at the end, he just chuckles and he goes, "Oh, Roddy's in heaven. He's not in hell." And that's how this little clip ends. And it's like, so weird. But it's just fun. I'm sure someone got offended by it. But I wasn't. I think it was just a good bit of fun. I'm pretty sure Roddy Piper would find it funny as well. But it was just the way he chuckled. It was like, he's in heaven. He's not in hell. But he was just having a little bit of fun. Vince McMahon cutting loose. This is going to be the start of a Vince McMahon stand-up tour. That's what we're going to get now. If you want to see the clip, I did post it onto my Twitter. And you can watch it there. I don't know if it's going to be in the actual documentary or if it was just a little outtake, but it was weird to see. Just saw a super chat saying from Joaquin. Joaquin says, "Days, the Wrestling Escape Pod makes me hate life." That's what it's there for, in all fairness. Shout out to everyone that's joined us and for the Wrestling Escape Pod. We do have, obviously, new episodes. They tend to be every Thursday now. But we've actually got a special one next week. Next week, we're not going to talk about wrestling. Not that we do anyway. But we're going to do a whole episode on TV comedy shows. We're going to talk about, like, our favourite sitcoms and stuff like that. And sitcoms that we didn't, like but are very popular. Just talk about, like, UK ones versus US ones. I'm looking forward to it. If it works, then it might be something that we do going forward where, like, each show is themed around something in particular, like 90s movies or sitcoms or stuff like this. I don't know. I really like the Wrestling Escape Pod because it's just free, innit? We just do whatever we want over there. If we talk wrestling, brilliant. If we don't, who cares? So, yeah, but TV sitcoms should be good. I'm looking forward to it. Right, Seth with a knee to Daniel Bryan. Seth in the face of Daniel Bryan. Hurling him to the corner, over the top. They collide into each other and both go down in the center of the ring. So Daniel Bryan and Seth Rollins colliding into each other. Friends versus coupling. Oh, dude. I don't think many people would know what coupling was. And in all fairness, I only saw a few episodes of it myself. I'm fairly sure Friends is winning that unanimously. Apart from the 5 coupling fans that there are in the world. Should Dominic be in NXT? Yes. Right, Cesaro is in the ring now with Jey Uso, and he's feeling it. He's pumped up. Just saw a big clothesline there from Cesaro, and he's looking now for a Cesaro swing. Oh, Enziguri from Jey Uso. Springboard, that nice twisting European uppercut. 1, 2, shoulder up by Jey Uso. So Cesaro showing, what he's good at here. Over the top, picks up, nice, excellent work by Cesaro. 1, 2. Oh, Seth making the save. Joaquin said $20 that you guys won't even talk about sitcoms. Yeah, I know. We're not very good at staying on track, are we? I think we will. I think part of the problem is that part of the problem is we're trying to do a wrestling podcast featuring someone that doesn't really watch wrestling. I mean, Tommy will keep up with the odd bit, but by and large, he's not a regular viewer, so it does make it a bit of a challenge, which is why we stray onto other subjects quite often. So, I don't know. This is probably worth a go. Cesaro comes down off the top. Super kick by Jey Uso. Wrestle with Andy says Seinfeld is the GOAT for me. Dude, this is what sparked the conversation. So on Monday, I was doing the Raw watch along, and I happened to say, do you know what? There's one sitcom that I cannot get on with it, and I really wish I could get into it, but I can't get into it, and that sitcom is. And it was at that point that the stream crashed, and it was at that point that the stream went down, and I had loads of people getting in touch with me going, what was the sitcom? What was the sitcom that you couldn't get on with? And the answer was Seinfeld. I can't get on with it. I really want to get into it, and I really want to like it. And I've watched a few episodes, and I just don't have the urge to watch anymore. I don't have the urge to, like, like when you're watching a really great show, and it's like, yeah, I've got to watch another one of them. Or, like, you're laughing, and you're like, oh, that was so good. I'll tell you a show I really like, and there is a show that I've started watching recently that I do have that with, where I'm like, oh, that was really funny. I watch the next one. Superstore with the woman that used to be an Ugly Betty. This is all stuff that is going to be on the Wrestling Escape pod, so we can't really talk about it now. But Superstore, I think all the seasons are on Netflix. I don't even know how many seasons there were, in all fairness, because it's not a show that I've been aware of. But I caught a few episodes, and I really like it. It's very easy to watch. And I thought it was really, really good stuff. So, yeah, Superstore I was very impressed with. And obviously, Modern Family, I've seen quite a bit of that. I think everyone's seen Modern Family. I can't stand Big Bang Theory. That can do one. So, really not a fan of Big Bang Theory. So, not a fan of Big Bang Theory. Superstore is great. I haven't really got into Parks and Recreation. I need to try and give that a spin. So I'm very interested to see what people have been watching and what people recommend. But yeah, Parks and Recreation is one I do want to watch. Seinfeld is one I can't get into. Superstore I found on Netflix I thought was great. And I don't know. The rest I've got to save the rest for next week. Otherwise, I won't have anything to talk about next week on the Wrestling Escape pod. But if you like laughing and you like comedy, join us next Thursday on the Wrestling Escape pod, on the Wrestling Escape pod channel. Brand new show every week, hour long, where we talk about something fun. That I can't guarantee that. I can guarantee it's every week. Blame Darius. Blame Darius. Wow. Dude, why did you send through such a kind super chat? You didn't need to do that. I mean, she's not even reading it out. You haven't even had your money's worth there. She's not even read it out. It's her day off. So you've got me doing it instead. So Blame Darius is a legend. Donated $49.99. Dude, that is so kind. That, as I said, all of these donations go straight back into the channel. I've said this before. I clearly don't have a tan. I'm clearly not going abroad to, soak up the rays. It goes towards data. And that's sexy, isn't it? It goes towards data and keeping the show on the road. So a massive, massive shout out to Blame Darius, who said Mr. Bean was a good one. Hashtag bring back the factions. Do you know what? Mr. Bean is class. We're still underway with this match, by the way. Cesaro, how long are we in? 35 minutes we're into the show. Cesaro has now got a sharpshooter on Seth Rollins, and Jey Uso comes in, kick to the side of the head of Cesaro. I mean, as tag matches go, this is a good one. It's a fun one. But yeah, I agree about Mr. Bean. Mr. Bean is timeless, isn't it? I mean, I don't think that is ever going to age. Some of the settings, like you might look back at like the car that he drove, and do you know what I mean? Like you might look at a few things like that. The fact he didn't have a mobile phone and all this kind of stuff, and you might think, yeah, it's aged a little, but by and large, it's just timeless because, and it works in any country as well because obviously he was silent, didn't really ever make any noise. I loved it. It was probably my favorite thing as a kid was Mr. Bean. When there was a new one of them on TV, it was just the best. It was just the best. I've got the box set somewhere, actually. I don't have it here. Running Knee by Daniel on Jey Uso. 1, 2, 3. They did a box set that was in a briefcase, and it was about this big. And it had every episode from the TV show. It had both of the movies. And it had, I want to say every episode from the animated series, but I think they've now made more. And you got Teddy. You know, his little Teddy. You got a little Teddy in there as well. It was a box set. They might still do it. I've got that box set somewhere. Absolutely love it. Could not agree more, Blame Darius. Could not agree more. Bean. So, Cesaro and Daniel win. Did you watch Keenan and Kel? I did. I was a fan of Keenan and Kel. Daniel Bryan says, Roman. He's calling out Roman. Uso trying to attack. We've got a swing on the go. What, is only counting now? Yeah, I mean, there's way more here. And he chucks him down. I mean, that was a good 20-odd rotations there. Uppercut. So, Daniel Bryan on the microphone. Cesaro standing over Jey Uso. Roman, are you coming out? Okay, so they're talking about Roman, saying, like, will he not come and save his cousin? They've clearly not been watching the show. Let's find out if he's really a family man. Days, I love Rowan Atkinson. I genuinely think he might be the funniest actor ever. Oh, it's class, isn't he? Like Blackadder, I thought was great. Okay, so Cesaro's doing some more swings. I wonder if Cesaro regrets ever starting this. Because it's got to be pretty moody for him as well, hasn't it? Look at that. Proper. He's still going round, Jey Uso. So Cesaro is swinging and hurling Jey around. Whilst Daniel Bryan is calling out Roman. It's very different, isn't it? I can't recall us ever seeing anything like this before. Roman has to turn on Jey already. Wrestle Andy said, Days, I watched The Wire for the first time. It might be the best show I've ever seen. I recommend it to everyone. Do you know what? You've named the two shows I can't get into. You've named the comedy I can't get into and the drama I can't get into. The Wire is so hard to get into. So many people, like, it's regarded as one of the best shows. I mean, it's up there with Breaking Bad and The Sopranos. I cannot get into it. I think a lot of people have said the first few episodes are quite tough because, like, it's hard to know who everyone is. But obviously, you know, you stick with it. And it's meant to be awesome. So, yeah, I completely understand where you're coming from. It's meant to be fantastic. But I just can't get past... I've watched the first couple of episodes and I've just been like, can't do it. Right, we're backstage with Sonya and Adam Pearce. Oh. Nigeria has walked into the room. Zach said, have you ever seen South Park? Absolutely, yeah. I think it's good. I think it's great, actually. South Park's good. South Park was good in the 90s when I think the world was a bit more alternative. Like, you had Jerry Springer, you had the Attitude Era, you had nu metal. Like, kind of felt like the trend at the time was a bit more alternative. Now the trend seems to be like being woke. Do you know what I mean? Being woke seems to be cancelling everything, seems to be on trend. It's just not cool. Right now is not a cool time. I mean, obviously the pandemic is not helping anything, but I wish there was like a cool trend going on at the moment. I've got to be honest, I don't feel like it's very cool right now. Simpanord's here. I could never get into South Park, says Austin. Have you watched Uncle Grandpa? I have not. Pikachu Girl fan said, I love watching South Park on Comedy Central. Apollo versus Kevin Owens, says Brony. Planet Dan says, I can't get into Game of Thrones. I watched the first 2 episodes and I was bored. To be fair, I've never tried. I'm pretty sure that wouldn't be my thing. I mean, I'm sure the stories are great, but it's just not my kind of setting. You know, like with Downton Abbey, it's like, I'm sure it's all right, but it's not my kind of thing. I kind of feel that way with Game of Thrones. Have you watched Snowpiercer yet? Nope. I don't even know what that is, Daryl. Snowpiercer. Is that like something to do with... That to me sounds like Ice Road Truckers. Is it something like that? Hey, my name's Dan and I'm the Snowpiercer. I don't know what it is. Have you ever seen the 80s Batman? The films? I've seen the films, but I've not seen the TV show. I've seen the 60s ones, but with what was it, Adam West? But I've not seen 80s ones. Let's go down. I think we've properly strayed away. This shows how well this is going tonight, guys. Shows how well SmackDown is going tonight, whereby the topic of conversation is TV shows. It's not a bad show, in all fairness, but do you have in the UK TV shows that are like hour-long stories where every episode has new characters and stories? No. Hour-long stories? No. I don't know what that is. I'm trying to think what that would be. I mean, we have drama series, but not like a series where every week it's a different thing. I mean, that in a way makes me think of Black Mirror. Black Mirror does that, doesn't it? Black Mirror is a show where every week it's a different show with different actors. But I can't think of another example really of that. Might be like a really obvious one that I'm not thinking of, but Black Mirror's the only thing that comes to mind. Blame Darius says, I sent 49.99 by accident. Kids don't text and drive. Oh, buddy. Well, is there a way of putting that back? Taking it back? There might be have a look, see if there's a refund option. There's not I have no issue with authorizing such a thing, but they don't give me that option. They don't give me a way of refunding or doing anything like that. So when you get back, just Google it and have a look and see. Because there might be a way of doing it. I genuinely don't know. But we have had that happen before. And honestly, it's never a problem. And if ever like I got anything through asking me to authorize it, I'd be more than happy to do that. Warsaw, oh hello, we're backstage. We're back on SmackDown with Jey Uso. He says, enough with the disrespect, Cesaro. Don't know. It's quite a impassioned promo. Right. Days, I love Cesaro's ring attire. It looks the same colours as Bumblebee from Transformers. Wouldn't it be nice if Cesaro's new ring attire could be Optimus Prime? Sure. I mean, I don't really watch Transformers, so it wouldn't like be that exciting for me, if I'm being honest. But yeah, that would be great for Transformers fans. We've got Tamina and we've got Nia. So looks like we're going over to that match now. We're nearly 50 minutes into the show. Tamina versus Nia. This ain't going to be long. I know this is not pleasing anyone, but I wouldn't worry about it. This ain't going to go long. Days, How I Met Your Mother was a good show. I never really watched it, to be honest. It wasn't a show that I was really paying much attention to. I heard the end sucked. I heard the end of the show was awful. I don't know any more than that. Have I seen Young Rock? I haven't seen Young Rock, no. Another show that I'm hearing mixed reviews on, to be honest. So Tamina all over Nia at the moment. Tamina really throwing in some big forearm strikes. Shayna trying to grab at the leg of Nia. That didn't work. Shayna seems... Well, I don't know what she's doing. Is she... What? I don't know what she was doing. Shayna grabbed Nia's leg twice. I don't know if she was trying to pull her out of the ring or what was happening there, but whatever was going on, it was a real miscommunication. Into the barricade goes Nia. Shayna comes round, and obviously we've got Natalya out there. The problem that we've got is we've got, at the moment, 4 unlikable people. I don't like any of these people. Nia in the ring. Tamina in the ring. Simpanold on the jumps up. Tamina kicks out at Shayna. Shayna goes down. Shayna getting very frustrated. Simpanold trips over the steps. There's a lot of just posturing, gesturing. It's all just waffle, isn't it, this? Tamina rolls up Nia, pins Nia. This absolute car crash of a segment is over. It's just awful. You've got, like, things like... I don't know what they were trying to achieve at times. I don't know what Shayna was doing on the outside, trying to grab at Nia's leg. The return of Simpanold. That was sluggish, says Brony. Yeah. Do you know what? I think Michael Cole has just summed it up. We need to figure out what's just happened. We do. There needs to be a full investigation. Right, we've got Kayla with Kevin Owens. What's on Shayna's shirt? I didn't see. Kevin Owens said it's been years since he's had an opportunity for the IC title. Kayla Braxton's World's Darkest Tan. Kayla looks extremely tanned. She does look tanned. Love that $1 match. It is Big E. You habitual line jumper. I tell you what, I'm here for this. Who's here for Kevin Owens, Big E? I'm here for that. You should be getting a rematch, but it's not going to be tonight. And it's next. They're just laughing at each other now. I'm down for that. I'm down for that. Kevin Owens against Big E. I've never even thought about that match. But that would be class. Resting days right now, you're watching out for Nia's hole. I think we all are. J14 saying hello to Moda. Hello, Moda, if you are around. I mean, you must be. For people to say hello. William Hensey is saying hello. Hayden said, I used to watch Mickey Mouse's Clubhouse on Disney Channel in the 2000s. I loved Goosey. Goosey. I loved Goosey. It's a new character they're bringing in. I loved Goofy. I love his laughing voice. It seems like the conversation has gone to kids' shows now. I don't quite know how we've gone there, but hey, go wild, chat. Go wild. That Raw promo doesn't excite me at all, says Lister Jericho. I didn't even look at it. I saw Retribution being unmasked, and that was it. Dace, have you ever watched The Simpsons? I have heard of that show. Yes, I have heard of that show. Yeah, I mean, I've seen. I think I've seen pretty much every episode up to like season 15. I don't know what season they're up to now. I'm like 30 something. And then around that point, I just haven't been, watching it. I think with the older ones, they're on repeat all the time, but don't tend to. I don't know what it is about like the more recent episodes or the episodes from the past 10 years, but I just don't see them on TV all that much. I always seem to see the older ones. So, and them older ones, man, so funny, so good. But I hear, I could see as well, like it drops off. It's like, it's not as funny. It doesn't seem as relevant as what it was. It's a changing of the times, isn't it? Again, you kind of go back to The Simpsons and, when MTV was around, just starting in the mid-80s, Simpsons starting in the late 80s. It was kind of one of the first adult animated shows, if you will. An animated show that was for kids, but adults could watch it as well. There wasn't many of them. And it was a kind of real trailblazer. And then obviously in the 90s, it was such an alternative decade that it really just, that was its time. And then I think the 2000s, it kind of lost its way, didn't it? And now in 2020s, I don't know. I mean, I think it still gets decent ratings, but I don't think it's what it was. Eric Defcon Prime Dirigi says, do you remember when KO turned on Kofi and Woods? Big E doesn't. Do you remember when Kevin Owens turned on Kofi and Woods? Even I don't. Even I don't. When was that? I'm sure it has happened, but I also don't remember it. There's so much that goes on. If you was to honestly remember all of the backstories on everything, I think all the wrestlers would just hate everyone. Which is pretty true, in all truth. We got Adam Pearce. Here's Daniel Bryan. Daniel said, are you going to make Cesaro Roman? He does deserve the opportunity. Adam Pearce said he's going to try. Daniel Bryan says, do more than try. It's a bit weird, Daniel being the one that's trying to get Cesaro this match. Here comes Kevin Owens. Hello, what's going on with the camera shot there? Kevin Owens versus the Nigerian Nightmare, Apollo Crews. Oh, hello. Oh, hello. Well, that should be locked in place. I know that much. Right, let's move this. I don't know where the timer's gone as well. Timer's done one. Firefox had a problem and crashed. Oh, okay. Just only seeing that. Well, that's disappointing, Firefox. I expected more from you than that. Right, Commander Aziz. So, Commander Aziz with wonderful white trousers. Commander Aziz has gone and got himself some white trousers. He's very proud of them. He's wearing them with pride. So, Commander Aziz making his way down in his beautiful white trousers. Joking aside, I do love Apollo's ring attire. I think this Nigerian ring attire looks awesome. The cameraman must have been having a bit too much. Yeah, he went... I don't know what shots we were getting there, but... I think it was shots of the ceiling of the Thunderdome. Harley said, I'm happy that they had the tag match that went 20 minutes because we shouldn't have too much filler now. By the time KO and Apollo starts, we'll be an hour in. We will be an hour in, yeah, 59 minutes. As soon as we get to the next commercial break, we will do halftime scores. Okay, so Cruz and Kevin getting ready to get underway. And we are up and running. Commander Dabakato says Better Spark. WWE fired the person that sent Mickey James' stuff in the trash bag. Yes. Okay, so this is for the Intercontinental Championship. We've got 1 hour left of the show. Have you seen Kung Fu? I have not, Randy, no. I've never seen it, actually. I have heard of it. It's an iconic TV show, but I've never seen it. Wrestle with Andy said, do you like Dream Team on Sky One? I did see a few episodes, but I wasn't like a regular viewer. But I did catch the odd episode, and it was good from what I saw. Yeah, it was all right. As I said, I wasn't a regular viewer, so I can't make out like I was crazy into it. Benji said KO turned on Kofi and Woods after WrestleMania when Big E was injured. KO even did his own New Day intro. Okay. I don't remember it. I will have seen it. We will have done a watch-along for it. But I don't remember it. Shout out to you, Benji. Days, how The Walking Dead yet since we talk on Wednesday? How The Walking Dead yet? Have I watched The Walking Dead? No, but I've been too busy. I mean, we have streamed every day. And we've got one of the biggest streams of the year tomorrow. So I've still not done anywhere near the amount of research for that I should have. So, yeah, I think there's some, like, at the moment, 13 fights for tomorrow's UFC show. And I tried to research them all and make sure I'm up to speed with, you know, all the fighters. I think I've done about 3. So I've still got 10 fights to do. So as soon as we're done here, I've got to go and do research for UFC tomorrow. Do you ever go a day without eating bananas? Fun fact. I only eat bananas on stream. I never eat them off stream. I literally do it just for energy. It's the only reason I eat them. I like them. I like bananas. But I never eat them otherwise. And in all fairness, I don't tend to eat during like Smackdowns and Raws or whatever. But I have been feeling a little bit run down recently. But I feel all right today. But with an hour to go, I thought, why not? YOLO. Yobo. You only banana once. Vape Ross Vape said, Ghost Banana, Ghost Banana, Ghost Banana. I know, we haven't seen it since. That's the thing with ghosts, though, isn't it? You never know when they're going to appear. Right, in the ring, nice suplex by Apollo. And just gets a 1 count on Kevin Owens. Get a feeling that Apollo's going to win, thanks to Commander Aziz. What's Pat McCarthy standing up for? Sit down, fool. Big strikes by Apollo. Kicks to the midsection. Days, did you know that I just got my WrestleMania 37 magazine at my local pharmacy in the US? Good timing. Shout out to you, Larry. Did you know banana lollipops and ice pops taste different because they are based on an extinct species of bananas? No. I didn't know this. Right. Kevin Owens throwing Apollo back into the ring. Going up top. Commander Aziz on the outside. Can't do anything at this stage. Off the top comes Kevin, but shoulder up by Apollo. I did wonder if Commander Aziz was going to grab the leg of the ref and pull her out. Oh, Sami Zayn? Okay, I wasn't expecting this. Sami Zayn is here. He hasn't got his documentary crew. Sami Zayn is making his way down. Sami's been great, hasn't he? Sami has been great. Not enough people talk about like how good Sami Zayn has been recently. If you think that just, you know, is it last year, early last year, he was doing a lot of managing. Who was he managing? Nakamura and someone. Was it Nakamura and Cesaro? It was, wasn't it? Nakamura and Cesaro were being managed by Sami Zayn. And he was just doing that. But then, you know, he started to wrestle a little bit more. And, yeah, since he started doing this conspiracy stuff, I think he's been awesome. I almost skittered myself, says Mike. Okay. Halftime scores. We are at commercial break. Halftime scores. So, Brony says 7 out of 10. J14 says 7. John says 7.5. Laurie says 7.5. Brony says 7. Sonny Wolf says 7. Cheese Whiz 2 says 5. Hayden says 7. Toboy123 says 6. William says 0. No Fiend. Yeah, I mean, you're not going to get that on a Friday. Tatiana says 6.5. Austin says 6.5. Looks like he's copying Tatiana. Brony says 7. LD Cool says 7. John says 7.5. Lone Star Friend says 7.5. Shaquem says 6. Brad G says 7. Look at these scores. Firing through. You can see them all on screen right now. Jonathan with a 5. Irma with a 4. That's quite low. Devontae with a 5. That's quite low. Toma with a 6.4. On UK Amazon, you can find Tim Hortons very cheap. Tim Hortons what? I can't see the chat. I can only see the chat on screen. For some reason, Firefox keeps crashing. I've got a problem with Firefox tonight, so I'll have to try and get that fixed for tomorrow. How do you fix Firefox from crashing? I have no idea. These technical difficulties that we have, eh? Jonathan Osborne says 6.10. Jordan says 6.5. Mansour says 7. Yeah, flipping Firefox is all crashed again. Right, hang on. I'm going to have to get to the chat because I don't even know now if the chat might have crashed on screen. Flippity flip. Flippity flip. Right, we are still underway with the match. So, a real mixed bag of halftime scores. You can get Tin Horton cups and coffee stuff. Okay. Well, I feel like that's exciting for you, not that exciting for me. 8.7, it's back on. It is back on. Flippity flip, indeed. I'm sorry to use such strong language. Who blew up Days? Whoa, what do you mean? Was it a WWE trash bag of mixed scores? It was, and the person responsible is going to be fired. Eric Defcon Primed Origi says, when Firefox comes crashing down, does it hurt inside? Well, I can tell you, I was saying my prayers. I was reaching for my vitamin. Where are my vitamins? Do you know what? I haven't taken them in ages. Where are my vitamins? I don't even know where they are. Conspiracy, guys. Someone's took my vitamins. Don't know. What is going on with the Usos and Roman Reigns? I know one of them is with Roman. What happened with the other one? Well, he was out injured. Jimmy Uso's been out injured, but we did see him at the end of 2020. I have no idea when he's coming back. I haven't heard any news or anything, so yeah, I don't know where he is. I mean, I don't think it's going to be long, but I mean, it's already been a while. Mo Jones said, why did they change Dabba-Kato's name? It already fit Apollo's theme. Or why not better yet, Babatunde? I think they wanted to go with the military thing. So I think they wanted Commander or something like that in the name. I suppose if they went with Commander Dabba-Kato, the question would be asked, why was he not Commander Dabba-Kato before? So by changing his name completely, they've gone that way instead. He's not doing anything though. I mean, Commander Aziz is literally just standing on the outside. He's not even standing to attention. Why is he not? I think it would be better if he was stood right by the commentary table with his hands behind his back, just standing to attention. Like, that would be good. Instead, he's just acting normal in a military costume next to the ring. German from Kevin. William Hensey says, this donation is in honor of Moda. Much love from the community for all the support. It's our turn, Moda. Give Moda some love. Wow, look at that. William Hensey with some support there and kind words to Moda. Laurie with some love for Moda. Is everything all right? Is Moda all right? What's going on? Moda, shout out to you, buddy. I hope everything's well. Got me worrying about Moda now. Opening was good. Seth and Roman kind of had a reunion, so that boosts my score. Tag match was great. Nia versus Tamina was bad. Apollo against Owens has been okay. 7.25 says Harley. I think that's a very fair score. Corey K says Moda. I tell you what, there's a lot of love for Moda in the chat tonight. Owens was looking for a stunner, couldn't get it, but a nice super kick. Apollo goes down. Against the ropes goes Apollo. Power bomb. Kick out by Apollo. Austin, shout out to Moda. Look at all this. Where is Moda? Yeah, I haven't even seen him. I haven't even seen Moda. Daze, what's your thoughts on Norse mythology as a religion? Such a great question. I don't know anything about Norse mythology, to be honest, so I can't really comment. So yeah, I really can't say. Roll up by Apollo. Oh, and Apollo wins. So Apollo wins. Have we got some lag? Did we hit some lag? Hang on. It says that we're up and running. It says that everything's okay. But it looks like the chat froze again. I think I've got real problems tonight with Firefox, of all things. So, yeah, hopefully we are still live. Shout out to everyone that is joining us if we are live. If we're not live, then I am aware of some issues. But either way, Apollo has won. We've got Commander Aziz helping Apollo away as Sammy jumps into the ring. Sammy is dancing over Kevin Owens' body that's just lying in the ring right now. 49er Crumb says you're good. Okay, no lag. The stream is fine as usual. Thank you, Hayden. Yeah, for a moment there, I lost everything as like Firefox just crashed for me again. So I was like, have we gone down? Have we crashed? I don't know. So Sammy dancing in the ring over the lifeless body of Kevin Owens. You're live, but the chat on screen has frozen. To be honest, I don't know if I can try and fix it, but I don't know. We've been hitting a little bit of trouble with Firefox tonight. Okay, we've got Paul Heyman. We're backstage with Kayla Braxton. Heyman says he likes Cesaro. I respect him. I admire him. Cesaro made a name for himself using just one name, like Drake or Madonna. Paul Heyman said Cesaro is his favorite Cesaro, and in all fairness, I do feel that way as well. Everyone in the tribe will hear from their chief. So Roman's going to answer the challenge of Cesaro. I would imagine that answer will be no. No. I've thought it over. No. My name is Paul Heyman. Do you remember when Paul Heyman was Paulie Dangerously? Yes. Right, we are at commercial break. We've got just over 40 minutes to go. I feel like this show is a lot of filler, if I'm being honest. I mean, I feel like it's pushing a bit forward, not really much. I mean, it's pushing things forward at such a slow pace. Do you know what I mean? Woo! Like, you could really have missed this show. I do think this show is quite skippable. But it's okay as well. I don't know. I mean, I feel like we've been talking about a lot of stuff other than wrestling because the wrestling hasn't been essential. So for SmackDown, I think this has been... I'm still probably around like 6, 7, 5, 7. I mean, it's still been an all right show. I don't know. I've got a few mixed feelings on it. I want something to get my teeth into. I don't think there's been any talking points, or I don't think there's been anything. Do you know what I mean? If you didn't watch this show, I don't think it would matter. And that's a shame. I kind of feel like if you're watching a drama series, like each episode should really push the story along and should really matter. Like, oh, I've got to watch the next episode. You just don't get that with wrestling, do you? For a lot of wrestling, you just don't need to watch. Now, I feel like SmackDown has been delivering better than this. So, I don't want to be too down on it because it's not a bad show. But, don't know, it's just like with 40 minutes to go. Can you please shout out me and my grandma, says the Hayward family. Absolutely. Shout out to Grandma Hayward. I hope you're well. Staying strong. This is the worst SmackDown 2021, says Matthew. Don't know. I can't remember. I think there might have been worse. I can't remember. I think last week was a bit disappointing as the SmackDown after WrestleMania. I think we were definitely expecting something significant. I don't even think we got anything significant last week. But it's all. I don't want to stress. It's also not really a chore. You know, with Raw, that's got like really bad segments. Like, all right, we had Tamina Nia, and that sucked. But outside of that, it hasn't been a chore to watch. Mo Jones says, so we're just going to forget Antonio Cesaro. Just like that. Spoke 5 languages. Just me. Okay. No, I don't think we forgot Antonio Cesaro, but he has been Cesaro for a long time. Just Cesaro. Luke Walker said, watch Mortal Kombat instead and listen to Days. What, are you watching the film? How do you watch the film? Is the film only in cinemas? Because that's come out, hasn't it? And it's doing very well. I saw that Miro had organised like a private screening and whatever, but is Mortal Kombat available to watch at home on like HBO box office or something? Because I don't know, cinemas aren't fully open yet, are they? Here's Apollo. So Mo Jones, shout out to you. Luke Walker, shout out to you. He says, listen, listen. That is the sound of my royal ancestors jumping in celebration. I don't think she heard him. Big E attacking Apollo. Who is she? I don't know. I don't know who most of these backstage people are anymore. Here's Commander Aziz. So Big E attacks Apollo. So clearly we're not done with that yet. Commander Aziz going to help Apollo. A babyface attack. Days just got out of work. Anything big that I've missed? No, we were literally just saying if you've missed this show, you ain't missed nothing. I mean, Big E just attacked Apollo. And that is strange, isn't it? Hello, what have we got here? Aleister Black. Okay, it's been a while. It's been a hot minute. Surrounded by candles. He's going to ask for someone to knock on his door. I want you to know the truth. Tales of the Dark Father. This is good, isn't it? Reminds me of Tian Sha. Great animation. That's good. You are the monsters. I would never help you. Thank you. This is brilliant. You should be scorched from the earth. He's talking to you lot, and I have to agree. Oh, hello. Wow. That was cool. Reminded me of Tian Sha, you know, when they were telling that story and using animation to kind of really get the point across. I loved it when he said that he was taken to the forest and the father was teaching him about the celebration of life and death. And he said that he figured out that he wasn't being taught how to defeat the dragon. He was being taught how to become the dragon. It's really nice, really good animation, surrounded by candles. Loved him in them glasses as well. Sat in a chair with a big book, and he had like these glasses on. Very interesting. Very interesting. Very dark, lots to explore. I really like it. It's good. And it's clearly established him as a heel. So, Aleister Black coming back. They've got something for him. They've spent some money on vignettes. That's going to be the first of many, I would imagine. And I really like it. It's quite interesting, isn't it? Because what is the gimmick? I mean, right now, it seems like he is just a guy that's been through, like, some kind of trauma as a kid. I don't know. Oh, here's Bayley. Oh, look at Bayley's hair. Looks nice. So Bayley says, I'm here to talk about my opponent at Backlash. We support Black all this time. He pretty much says he wants us dead. That's nice. Yeah. I think he said, like, that you lot were scum. He's here to scorch the earth. Bayley says that Bianca is selfish and she's spoiled. The gimmick is that he's an emo, says 1980. Yeah, I can't quite get the gimmick. The glasses made him feel a bit 70s, a little bit early 80s. And I really liked it. I really liked him telling stories of... Oh, hello. Montez on the phone to Bianca. Right, yeah, what do you think? What do you think? Mo Jones says, are we finally getting cult Aleister Black like they kind of alluded to several times before? Like, can we get Wicked Black, please? That could be cult Aleister Black. It could be cult Aleister Black. Just right now, he doesn't have a cult. But if he is going to start recruiting people and start being the leader, he looks like he would be a great leader. He looks like, and he speaks so well. So, yeah, you could definitely get those kind of cult vibes, couldn't you? He looked great. Brony said, I loved it. It was awesome. Kermit the Frog, hello. Days I was at 725. That Alistair thing has turned it to 775, says Harley. Please don't ruin Black's return, says Cam Vlogs. Random Pierce says, how many wrestlers have you seen with outie belly buttons? Oh, it's a big question. Can't think of any off the top of my head. Tatiana said, do you have merch? If not, when will you have some? I would wear a shirt with your face on. I definitely don't have that. I would not inflict that on the world. There is a Wrestling Day shirt, but it's a bit outdated now, to be truth. It's been around for a good couple of years. And it's the one that I've always wore in videos. So, yeah, there is one out there. But I probably am due to try and get some new stuff. Days, you're not doing too good of a job filling in for the voiceover lady. I've never claimed to. I've never claimed to be on her level. How long do you think Apollo will have the IC belt? I think he'll have it for quite a while. Because I think this is quite a big push they're giving him. They're giving him like a big gimmick, and there's no need to really take it off him anytime soon, because I think he needs it. I think he needs the IC belt right now, and he needs to have good matches like what we saw tonight with him against Kevin Owens. So, Luke Walker said, send this donation to Bayley for a new hairstyle. What, you don't like it? You don't like that? You don't like that one? Oh, I thought that was nice. It's still short. Had a bit of volume. A few crinkles in it. I thought it was cool. Oh, look at the crying emoji as well. Oh, dude. Little tear running down the face. Oh, it wasn't that bad. I thought it was good. Days, as soon as you said there's no talking point on the show, they showed us that I told you Vince is in this community, says Harley. Yeah, well, they definitely did give us something with Aleister Black. It's good. Why did they call him Aleister Light? Because he is lit up by the candles. LSW said Black's gimmick is not supernatural. If anyone thinks it's supernatural, I don't know what to tell you. But there was certainly nothing there that was supernatural. I mean, who knows if it's going to go that way, but there was certainly nothing there that was. Bailey is no longer a hugger. Nope. But she will be on Talking Smack tomorrow with Sami Zayn and Cesaro. She's now backstage with Bianca. Bailey said, I just want to congratulate you for making history. Why is she being nice? Bailey says, the way that you picked up Sasha and walked up the stairs, I really appreciated and respected that. I know how hard that is. One more thing. Bailey starts laughing. And then you could just hear her laughing in the background. So Bailey bursts out laughing. She says one more thing, and then she bursts out laughing, walks off, and then you can hear her giggling as she's walking down the corridor. We don't deserve Bailey. Right, we've got the Mysterios. Team of Dominic and Rey Mysterio. I don't know who they're facing, go. 27 minutes left. Bailey is a whole lot better than Belair, says Butterspark. Woodley has been removed from the UFC rankings, which likely means he is done, says Lauren. Lauren, shout out to you. He probably should be done. I think he is done. Springboard crossbody by Rey last week. They're just showing a replay of that as we're seeing a replay of Rey versus Otis. Is it going to be Stupid Alpha Academy that we're going to be seeing now? This SmackDown has made me really happy, says Harley. Mysterio versus Los Conquistadors, says Deception Hunter. Okay, so we've got Mysterio's in the ring. Yes. Alpha Academy. Oh. Bailey's laugh was more entertaining than what any of the other women have done on the show tonight. True. True story. I'm going to get rid of this clock because we're just having a few issues with Firefox tonight, so there's no point really keeping that around. Just can't get into the Mysterios or out. No, same. Honestly, this is nothing to me. Can't get into them at all. I think Dominic is just... He doesn't look right. He looks like a kid. I mean, you've got, like, look at Chad. You've got Otis that's got a bit of size to him. You've got Chad that's got some muscle. And then you've just got Dominic that looks like literally we've plucked him out the crowd. And there's not even a crowd to pluck him out of. I do think it's a problem. Not this match again, says Fabulous Disaster. Jimmy says, another match, who gives a poop? Days, the joke was that when Belair wasn't there, Bayley was talking trash about her, but when she was there, she started being nice and then obviously started laughing later on. Tombo said, Sonny, no. Oh, that went that way. I couldn't even get a chance to read it. Luke said, Ray needs to defect to AEW to truly be elevated, not exploited by WWE. They did his daughter dirty with the Murphy storyline. No other outcome other than the age gap. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't disagree. I don't think that WWE want to tell this story, because if they did want to tell this story, I think they would tell a better one. I think that Ray is sort of making them tell this story. I think Ray is only staying with WWE if they use Dominic, because I think Dominic wants to be a wrestler and Ray's at the point in his career where he wants to help his son. So I think he's staying with WWE to help Dominic. Because this is the problem, isn't it? Dominic does not get on TV if he's not Ray's son. I mean, everyone has a go at Charlotte Flair, but this is next level, man. Isn't it weird how no one's having a pop at Dominic? But, like, everyone has a go at Charlotte. Like, Charlotte is only where she is because of her dad, blah, 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 blah. But yet she has great, great matches on her own, whereas Dominic doesn't really have great matches. In fairness, has been involved in a couple of really good ones. I remember SummerSlam in particular when he faced Seth being really good. We didn't quite know what to expect, but I think it took us by surprise. I think it did very, very well. So, but like, he's only on TV because of Ray. So, yeah, he absolutely should go to NXT. He should absolutely visit a gym. Not that I'm one to talk, but then saying that, I'm not on SmackDown, am I? Mo Jones says, Days, what's the deal with teams having names but not using them, like Dirty Dogs and Alpha Academy? It's a really good point. It's annoying. And Sexy Muscle Friends. Do you remember they were getting called Sexy Muscle Friends? And there's like posters of them where they're called Sexy Muscle Friends, and then they never use it. So, yeah, I don't know. I honestly don't know. I have no idea why they've got names and they're not using them. Dominic hasn't won multiple titles yet, says List of Jericho. Remember when Ray was jacked? Oh, hang on. Dominic hasn't won multiple titles. Are we saying that's why people hate on Charlotte, because she's won multiple titles? I do agree that's a problem because of the fact that she's constantly getting, like, pushed, over-pushed. But I'd argue this is worse. I'd argue that this is worse. I'd argue she is legit one of the best female wrestlers they've got. So the fact she's winning, like, loads of titles, like, for me personally, I just don't think it's a problem. I do agree she's over-pushed. But, like, I just don't think Dominic should be on WWE TV full stop. I don't even think he's ready for NXT. I mean, there's people in NXT that are way better than what he is. So, Dominic needs to put on some muscle. He looks like he's got as much muscle mass as me, says LSW. Eric Defcom, shout out to you, bud. I was trying to sing that in my head, but I couldn't find the right rhythm, which is very unlike me. I am a man of rhythm. Normally, I can find it easily. Right, we've got 20 minutes left of this show. We've got a pretty pointless tag match going on right now. We're going to hear from Roman in a bit as well. So we've got that coming up also. So, yeah, things are happening. But only 20 minutes left. Days, heel Sammy or face Sammy? I think Sammy can do both. I think he was great as a face, but I think he's doing really good work as a heel. I think he can do both. So, I'd say face. I'd say face. Because I really think that Sammy could, if booked right, be this generation's Daniel Bryan. Because he can wrestle, man. He can really go. He's got bags of personality. He's a great promo. So I'd say face. Yeah, and it's a big statement to make that he could be like this generation's Daniel Bryan, but I think he could be if he was booked right. That's the key. If he was booked right. Mo Jones said, "I forgot about Sexy Muscle Friends." Never forget about Sexy Muscle Friends. How dare you? How dare you? To you, Days, how is SmackDown right now? Asked Sean. It's all right. It's all right. It's an all right show. Not really much essential, but we did get a really nice vignette from Aleister Black. All those that are criticising Dominic are the same that were kissing his arse after the Rollins debut match. Yes, that debut match was very good. And then it was going to be very interesting as to how they used him. And to be honest, it's been really flat how they used him since. I mean, he had a few matches with Corbin. I can't even really remember what he's been up to. I mean, he's been doing a lot of, stuff with his dad. I'm guessing there was the whole Murphy thing with the Mysterio. It's just been poor. It's just been really, really poor. So now that it's kind of settled to a point where there's no program really going on for him, he's just in this kind of tag team with his dad. Now it's kind of like, I don't know, the dust has settled, the intrigue has gone. And now it is a problem. It is a problem that he doesn't have like muscle mass, or you can see his weaknesses a little bit more in the ring. He hasn't got like the widest move set in the world. He's obviously got a lot of bits from his dad, like obviously could do the 619 whatever. But I don't know. You look at someone like Leon Ruff in NXT, and he's like, how is Dominic like on SmackDown and Leon Ruff isn't? Leon Ruff is much better than what Dominic is. Much higher level, of wrestler with his selling and his moveset and his speed and just everything. I mean, it's no knock of Dominic to say that, he's not at this level yet, because he's still really young and he's jumped several rungs. I don't even know that Dominic's got any independent experience. So, yep, had a great match against Seth Rollins. I was full of praise for that match as well. Seth doing a lot of the work, though. But, now he just looks out of place. Now the dust has settled and we're past that match. Code Red, but doesn't get the victory. Did get a pin with it there, Ray. Big Boy Dally said, I'd better get back on the road. Have a good night. Shout out to you, bud. 16 minutes to go. This can't be our main event. Is this going to be the last match we see? Why do people care about muscle mass? It's a wrestling show, not bodybuilding. Yeah, I think, though, that when it comes to wrestling, I think you always look at them as, or I've always seen them as being the best of the best. Do you know what I mean? This is like the big guys going up against each other. And I understand you can have smaller guys and faster guys. And, I mean, like Ray doesn't have much in the way of muscle mass, but he's obviously a smaller guy and he's known for his high flying. Whereas the problem Dominic's got is he's quite tall. Dominic's much, much taller than what Ray is. And so as a result, you're comparing him to a lot of the other guys that are on the roster. And a lot of the other guys, if not all the other guys on the roster, have got muscle to them, because you kind of need that for, picking people up and all the different things you have to do in wrestling. And that the look is very, very important. Vince has got the airport test, which is, if this person was walking through the airport, would it turn heads? It's all about that. It's all about looking the part. It's all about, like Andre Hogan. Think about like all the steroids, and it's just always been a part of wrestling. I think if you've got someone on TV that just doesn't look that jacked or look that impressive, then I don't know. They better be good in the ring to catch your eye and get you talking about them, like what Ray can do. Otherwise, they're just not going to catch anyone's attention. And Dominic, I don't think wrestling-wise is there. And as a result, really could do with hitting the gym. Cesaro making his way down. Ray got his own left eye all painful and hurt by Seth. He did. Matty says, out of everyone, Leon Ruff is one of the worst. Dom is a good wrestler. Leon Ruff is all right. I'd have to disagree. I don't see that. I think Leon Ruff has got some really, really good transitions. Very, very quick reversals. He's got some lovely spots that he does. That one that he does in the corner where he bounces off the ropes, bounces down and through the legs is a really, really good, unique spot that he's got. And as I said, there's a lot of very quick reversals that he can do, like midair. I mean, he's very, very accomplished wrestler. And someone that's been active on the indie scene, wrestled in Evolve, I believe, done quite a bit, and is quite well seasoned already. So maybe lacks a little bit of the sports entertainment side in regards to rounding out his personality. But I would say there's no competition. If bell to bell, Leon Ruff compared to Dominic Mysterio, no competition in my eyes. I think Leon Ruff is miles ahead. Dominic, I think, struggles to put a match together. I mean, honestly, Seth carried that match at SummerSlam. Seth had to do a lot of the work in that match. And we've seen in subsequent matches where it's been like Baron Corbin against Dominic Mysterio that just haven't been that good. A lot of the fanfare has died down because there was a lot of intrigue going into that Seth Rollins match for Dominic, and he did really well, and there was a lot of intrigue, a lot of hype and whatever, and then ever since, his stock has just fallen off a cliff. So we have to be honest now in saying that he is only on SmackDown because of his dad. Vince likes bigger guys. He likes the look, the airport test. So there's no way Vince would have Dominic on this show if it wasn't for Rey Mysterio. Absolutely no way. Absolutely no way. So I don't know. I think it is a problem. I think it is a problem because if you don't have a great look, if you're not killing it on the microphone, and if you're just all right in the ring, then honestly, what are you doing on the show? So I do have a bit of a problem with Dominic Mysterio. It's not kicked on. I mean, like, how many of you out there would love that opportunity to be wrestling on SmackDown? I can't understand why he's not doing more to improve his look. I don't understand. Like, he's been given this golden opportunity to appear on international TV and get a segment. There's wrestlers that can't get segments. So why is he not hitting the gym? Why is he not bulking out? Why is he not... I don't know. I don't understand. I don't understand. I mean, he's been around for months. Like, if he'd been working out and improving his look and, do you know what I mean, training and whatever, he should look a bit bulkier now. I can only imagine he doesn't want to, which it's not going to bode well for him. So, yeah, a bit of a problem with Dominic Mysterio. Just don't think he fits. But that is by the by. We've got 10 minutes left on the show. We've got Cesaro and Daniel Bryan that are coming into the ring. And we're waiting on the answer from Roman. Is Roman going to face Cesaro? We're all waiting to hear your answer. So we're just waiting for Roman. I do wish Cesaro was better on the mic. He knows he can ride on his father's coattails, says Jordan. I would hope that's not the case, to be honest. I would hope that he realizes how big of an opportunity this is for him. And he must do. I mean, if this is something he really wants to do, my concern, in truth, is that he is someone that says, yeah, I really want to do this, gives it a go, and then doesn't really give it his all. And I don't know. I don't know if he's given this his all. But as I said, it's a separate conversation. Roman making his way down to the ring. Muscle mass bulking out is very genetic. You should be judged on your in-ring and promo skills. Oh, in that case, he needs to go off SmackDown then. He hasn't got, I mean, like, promo-wise is not anything special. In-ring-wise is nothing special. There's nothing that Dominic is doing that is worthy of being on a main roster. Nothing that's worthy of skipping NXT. So if we're going to judge it on that, then he has to go. Roman has come down face to face. He's looking quite annoyed at Cesaro. There's "You suck" chants. You're going to challenge me. Who are you? You don't deserve it. Look how fired up Roman is here. I'm down for this. I am down for this match. You will never be at my level. Mo Jones says they should have Dom be the opposite of Ray move-wise. Like, have him be more grapple-based. There's a whole style in Lucha that is based in grappling, so it would still work for him. That's really interesting. That's interesting. Could play off that. There could be a nice counter to each other. You get one more shot. Next week on SmackDown. One more title shot. Cesaro says you have to take it. So I think Daniel wants Cesaro to get the shot. Roman tells Cesaro to shut up. Cesaro looks uncomfortable in this role. He's kind of very tense. And he's kind of like staring at Roman. And I don't know. Cesaro feels like his Daniel's bodyguard. Daniel accepts for next week. So Roman versus Daniel for the title next week. So basically Roman saying Cesaro doesn't deserve it. Daniel, he'll give him one more shot. And when he beats him, he doesn't want to see him again. So it looks like, Roman, Daniel next week. Roman, Cesaro, WrestleMania Backlash. Smash 'em, stack 'em, pin 'em. Huge stakes. I hope Roman spears the soul out of Bryan. He lost at WrestleMania. Why does he think he gets another shot? Gotta tell you, for me, I think the bigger talking point out of that is, what are we doing with Cesaro? Like, I think it's fine that it's not Cesaro next, because I think he will get the opportunity, because he's such a big part of the build here. And Roman saying, what gives you the right to challenge me? And, I mean, they're clearly foreshadowing. So we're definitely going to get Cesaro going for the title, but he's not killing it on the microphone. He looks awkward in the ring. He stands and he just kind of freezes in this position, like with his arms out, just kind of staring at like Roman. And I don't know. I mean, like, it just doesn't feel comfortable. It doesn't feel natural. I want him to just take it. Do you know what I mean? Take it. It's like the brass ring is swinging in front of him, and I want him to just grab it and take it and cut loose on the microphone and give us some realism and some emotion. And where's the emotion? Where's the passion? Where is it? Where's it? It keeps going back to what Vince said all them years ago. Grab the brass ring. I have to say that you really see it. You do really, really see what Vince is talking about. Cesaro in that segment stood there tense and got told to shut up at one point by Roman. I mean, like, maybe there's not much he could do there because of the fact that the segment was largely Roman challenging Daniel. But when Roman told him to shut up, imagine if he just snatched the microphone and just went off. Who are you to tell me to shut up? Who are you to try and silence me? Do you know how long I've been silenced? Do you know how long I've been on this main roster? Whilst I've been having to watch people like you getting pushed for no reason. People like you that don't deserve it. And you've got the nerve to tell me that I don't deserve it. I want to see him go off. Come on, Cesaro. Now is your time. Now is your time after all of those shows that he's not even been on the show and he's been sat in catering. All them times he's been shoved into various different tag teams. Now he finds himself near the top of the card in the ring with Roman, with Daniel Bryan, and he just looks so uncomfortable. And I know people will say, look, he's not been here before. It's going to take him time. To a degree, I do understand that, but man, he's been in WWE a long time, and you've got to be ready. When you get given the ball, you've got to be ready. He should have been getting ready. And it's just I want it to work. I want it to work for him. I really want him to succeed. I really, really want him to succeed, but he was just a passenger in that segment there. Right, get in your full-time scores. The show is done. Get in your full-time scores. Hayden says 7. Austin says 7. Laurie says 7.5. Scott says 7. Brony says 7. E-Dog says 7. Let Him In says 7. Jay says Thief 316. See, Jay's on to Austin now. Do you think when Cross and Scarlett get called up, Vince will tell Scarlett to dress more PG? No. I think that when it comes to women's attire, they encourage the kind of things that Scarlett wears. Think about the stuff that, like, Carmella has wore. Mo Jones said this SmackDown was bland. This SmackDown was bland. It's 5 out of 10. It was more Raw than SmackDown. Retribution says 5. Cavi says 7. Ron says 9. 1987 Big Fan says 5.5. High Guy says 6.5. 420 for that day's promo. Rated R Wrestling says 7.12. Wayne says 7.5. Brony says 7. Harley said, Days, it was a good SmackDown. Next week's going to be huge. Apollo versus Big E, IC title. Roman, Bryan for the Universal. Also, if Bryan loses, it looks like he won't be on SmackDown anymore. 7.5. Johnny says 2. John says 6 bored Romans out of 10. Alfred says 3.5. Don 15 says, I want the Mysterios to win the titles. They have a Mortal Kombat character in NXT. 10 out of 10 says Logan. 10 out of 10 says Football Beauty. Dave, 6.5 for Daisy's Cesaro rant. I've met the guy, though, and not that changes anything, but I met him, and he was so nice. He is such a nice guy. He is everything you think he is, right? He is everything you think he is. You think he's a really nice guy, and he's really down to earth, and he is. He is. But I think that's been his problem, is he's so nice. He's so down to earth. He's so easy to walk over. From a business point of view, I don't think he's like really causing problems, sticking up for himself, saying enough is enough, blah, 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 blah. Like, I just think that he is very easy to, I don't want to say ignore, but do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know that he is someone that's really pushing himself. In ring, you just can't touch him. But, you know, the backstage politics stuff. But he's there now. He's there, and I really want it to work for him. I really, really want it to work for him. And I know they're going to give him the opportunity regardless. We're clearly building towards him and Roman. But these little moments like tonight might be the difference between him getting the belt or not. Because, honestly, Vince could be looking at this stuff going, he's just not got it. He's just not the guy. We can give him the match, but he's just not the guy. Or they might give him the belt and then very quickly just take it, like, let's give him the belt, let's have the moment, and then let's get it off him as quick as we can. Because to be perfectly honest, even I'm looking at this going, he's not having that belt for any long title reign. So, I don't know. Hopefully Daniel Bryan's going to do some work with him. Hopefully Daniel Bryan is like doing work with him on camera and off camera, trying to bring up his charisma, trying to bring him, you know, out of his comfort zone a little. So I'm going to say, right, my score, I'm going to give it 7. Give it 7. I don't think there was much bad on the show, although the Nia Tamina thing was fluff. Mysterios didn't really need. Aleister Black thing was great. Tag match at the start I thought was fine. Kevin Owens Apollo I thought was pretty good. I'd say the Aleister Black thing was the highlight. Roman and Daniel are always great. I mean, I don't know, maybe 7's a little high in reflection. Maybe 6, 7, 5. Maybe 6, 7, 5. Yeah, that feels a little better. I mean, like, no shade on this week's show. I don't think it was a bad show. I just kind of think that it was passable. I think there was some stuff on it, but if you missed it, or like literally 2 seconds, you can be filled in on anything important. That's it. And I think if you saw it, I think you're probably entertained, but you ain't going to work on Monday raving about it. Do you know what I mean? You're not going to work on Monday going, did you see Smackdown? Oh, fireworks, man. Like, you're not doing that. I should imagine anyone that watched that show has forgot about it already. And it's not really the mark of a good show, is it? So we do expect more from Smackdown than that, to be honest. Right. I'm going to call it quits there tonight, my friends. Thank you so much to everyone that joined us. Going to call it quits there because I really am behind on my UFC work that I need to do, my UFC research. Massive show tomorrow. So if you are around tomorrow, make sure that you are joining us. We are going to be doing the watch along for that. And it's a big one. 3 title fights tomorrow. So, as I said, make sure that you are joining us for that. Really do appreciate the support as always. Hope you enjoyed SmackDown. As we said, not a bad show by any means. But as always, few things that they could tweak and change to improve stuff. But better than Raw. Awesome, guys. Thanks for watching. I'll see you again next time. Bye for now.